Alright, we're back, We have... Oh, I'm learning things, sorry. I muted the bunnies field so that you could hear the music from Mistonia, and I didn't realize it would stay muted on other screens. Hey, yo! Hi, guys, we're back. Today, we're going to be continuing Mistonia's Hope, The Lost Delight. We're on Chapter 4 of Linus, which I think there's only supposed to be 4 chapters. I could be wrong. I just looked at what somebody had listed on choices, so it could just be the last time you have a choice. It might not be the last chapter. But if it is, we might be able to finish this route tonight, and then we're going to see about getting Edward's route started. It could be through this, it could not be through this. We're gonna find out. And I have the ability to stay here for about 4-ish hours before I feel like I'll need to go to sleep. Hey! So hopefully we'll get pretty far. Alright, so we're continuing in chapter 4. Also, I hope everyone's having a good day. We did have a small stream yesterday. And starting soon, I'm going to have a schedule. I'm just going to post a schedule. It's going to have subject to change, because if I pick up a shift, obviously I'm going to have to change it, but it's based on my... Because I usually have my schedule for the entire month. It's going to be based on that schedule. Typically, it's going to be morning. Some of them are going to be evening streams, kind of like right now. Now's an evening stream because we had stuff planned in the morning. And then some are going to be split days where I'll do like 2 streams. One stream's going to be with my sister. One stream's going to be by myself. Usually the later stream's going to be with my sister because that's what we're going to do before we go to bed. We're going to be playing Borderlands 3. I don't know if she's going to be streaming it right away. She is going to be making a Twitch account to stream. She's going to have a little VTuber, if I recall correctly, a little PNG tuber that she's going to play as. So that's going to be really cute. But we'll see. It's a vibe right now, so. Alright, so this is a few days later. I forgot what happened last. The other day at the day of the tea party arrived. Oh yeah, we got invited to a tea party by Tia, that's the queen. And we were invited there by Edward's sister, who may or may not be selling us out. We're not sure yet. Tia liked us. Why did Tia like us? I hadn't managed to cook up any grand schemes, but last night Oberon had been kind enough to come back to me with a message from John. It sounds like John managed to safely enter an alliance with the Twilight Ravens. This is a big step forward. His message said, until the day we attack the Queen, avoid any flashy movements. Be careful not to blow your cover. In other words, the most I could do today was keep the Queen from discovering my identity and be genial enough to lower her guard. Genial? Genial. I don't have my phone. Quite the unattainable challenge, but I needed to try for something and I decided to go for it. Other than that, I should map the layout of the palace as much as I can. I don't know what kind of plan I'm going to come up with, but in case I need to sneak into the palace... Are you ready? Shall we take our leave? While all kinds of thoughts rushed through my mind, Edward came down from the 2nd floor. Oddly, he was alone. Yes, may I ask where the mistress is? Puzzled by Lily's absence, I asked. Edward frowned apologetically. She left without me. This lady. It looks like she left ahead of us, even though she was insistent on going with you. Sorry about my free-spirited sister. No, all is well. I'm certain she meant it in the sense that she wishes to enjoy tea together. I mellowed out the situation, but I sincerely agree with his opinion that Lily was a free spirit. She was one elusive woman. I'll add one more thing to the list of palace objectives, probing for info about Lily. Making the resolution, I walked out of the estate with Edward and headed to the carriage. Your hand, please. In front of the palace, I borrowed the support of Edward's hand and then lightened the carriage. As I alighted the carriage. What? That's the second word that just doesn't make sense. I know it's real words. I'm not saying this language is obscure. I'm saying the words are obscure to me. This reminds me of when I practiced getting down from the carriage with Linus for the opera. Pain pricked my heart, but I suppressed it. From here, a soldier or a chamberlain would lead us to the queen, or so I
どう
assume.
も、エドワード卿。ここからは私が彼女をエスコートさせていただきます。
Oh, we're still getting our head chopped off. Greeting, Lord Edward. I shall escort her from this point on. Line? Linus marched out in front of us and bowed so respectfully that it was unnatural. His formal tone is for show. This is an official mission. I thought that I would come across him sometime while I was here, but it was sooner than I expected. Still, this is within my expectations. Lord Edward, thank you for escorting me to the palace. I shall make my way to the tea party with Lord Linus from here.
しかし、
But don't worry, I will be alright. Sorry.
では、
I hit
ご案内
auto.
いたします。こちらへどうぞ。
Imagine not being. What button is that? What button hit? How dare you? Config, which button is toggle, skip mode, quick save, backlog, auto. How did I do this? Auto, LZ, ZR. Alright, anyways. Alright. But don't worry about it. I will be alright. Giving a reassuring smile, I nodded. Though Edward looked concerned about me, he didn't make any further fusses. Well then, I shall be your guide. Please follow me. Thank you. As I replied, I entwined my hand with Linus's offered arm. More deja vu. No. More deja vu. We haven't walked together like this since the opera. Our relationship had changed completely, but in my... Ooh, thank you. In the eyes of the onlookers, we seemed as a harmonious couple walking shoulder to shoulder into a royal palace. I had ran out of water. But I'd already went live, so I didn't realize. Oopsie.
緊張してる?
Nervous. As we walked down the corridor, Linus switched to casual tone, but he still faced forward, so I followed his example and replied without meeting his eye. Yes, a little.
緊張してるのは、陛下に会うから?それとも、俺に警戒されてるから?
Are you nervous because you get to see the queen or because I'm distrustful of you? Both. Giving him a clipped reply, I stole a glance at his face. He still didn't look my way, but with just that glimpse of his profile, I felt his presence keenly. His warmth in my hand, his breathing beside me, my heart raced. How could I be so foolish? Even at a critical time like this, I couldn't be rational. I was disappointed in myself. It was a painful lesson to learn how difficult it was to control your heart. Some more things you need to control. Oh, Edison with you too? A grand table had been arranged in the hall, decorated with noble women exchanging pleasant conversations. Lily, already seated, widened her eyes when she saw Linus and me entering together. I requested to take over for his role. I happened to be on duty in the palace today and thought it was better for me to be her escort. It saved Ed some time being so busy. Goodness me. So that's how it is. She probably isn't taking that literally. Lily wore a radiant smile unbefitting of the chill the chill between both me and Linus. She still assumed that we were romantically involved. What Linus said was more or less the truth, so I didn't care how she interpreted it. I only wished I understood what she was thinking. It still surprises me how a noble woman who comes off as sheltered is so well informed. Is it typical of young ladies to entertain all these thoughts of romance? But maybe her interest isn't just in love. Is she trying to bring me to the queen because she's after the queen's goodwill? I had the feeling that once the queen showed up, I would be able to grasp a lead. Oh, here she comes. There was a knock on the doors. Like a wave receding from shore, the women's voices tapered out and all stood from their seats in unison. Follow me, here's your seat. Following Linus's instruction, I stood by Lily. Then the doors opened to reveal. Hello there, how are you faring, my ladies? Ascot Lindell himself. Oh, I did not. I don't see the queen. Could it be?
アスコット今日、ティア様はご一緒ではないの？
Lord Ascot, is Lady Tia not with you? Lily thrusted the question that was on everybody's tongues. Smoldering at her, the man crooked the corners of his lips.
申し訳ございません、リリー女。陛下は体調が優れないとのことで、代わりに私が伝言を預かってまいりました。
My deepest apologies, Lady Lily. It appears that Her Majesty is under the weather. I came bearing a message in her
王
stead.
女様方にはせっかくご足労いただいたのに申し訳ないと、陛下は大変お心を痛めておいででして。
Her Majesty stands her deepest regret that she cannot attend after you all went to all the trouble of traveling here.
最高級の紅茶と軽食を用意したので、自分がいなくともぜひ楽しんでいってほしいと仰せになられました。
She has prepared the highest grade black tea and refreshments, so she hopes that you will still enjoy your day even without her. Ascot bowed oh god, don't ditch to me. Reverently, and Lily retorted blatantly disappointed. I cannot.
ティア様がいらっしゃらないなら意味がないわ。
If Lady Tia is not coming, this is pointless.
私は失礼します。
I am thankful for her kindness, but I'll be taking my leave. How do I put this? It feels like she's more irritated by Ascot's attitude than the Queen's absence. It wasn't the first time that I didn't notice that touchy mood between these two. Perhaps they somehow came to be on bad terms. Lily was just about to reach the door when she suddenly turned around to look at me.
私はお屋敷へ戻るけれど、あなたはゆっくりしていらして。もちろん迎えの馬車は手配しておくわ。
I shall return to the estate, but please take your time, of course. I'll arrange a carriage to fetch you. Lily sent a meaningful glance at Linus, smirked, and added one last remark.
私がしなくてもエドがしているでしょうね。どちらにしてもあなたは楽しんでいって。
I'm sure Ed's already taking care of you even without my offer. In any case, enjoy yourself.
私の代わりにライナス教とお茶を飲むのもいいんじゃないかしら。
Perhaps it'll be a pleasant to share
So
tea with Lord Linus instead. Yes, a splendid idea. Huh? With a flip of her hair, Lily's voice voiced her fancy as if that settled it and left the hall, just in case I prepared for a scenario where the queen didn't show, but I certainly didn't predict that I'd be left all alone. I thought about how I should maneuver while I was in enemy territory. That was when Ascot dropped his formal mask and spoke
だっ
teasingly.
てさ、ライナ君。席に着いたらどうだい？ああ、よければ私が給仕をしてあげようか。
You heard her line. How about you take a seat? And if you'd like, shall I wait on you?
お断りします。俺は今仕事中なの。
I humbly decline. I'm working.
真面目だね。それなら私が代わりに彼女とお茶を飲もうかな。
Ah, you're a responsible one. If so, I can drink tea with her in your stead. Saying that, Ascot reached to pull out the chair beside me, but before he could, Linus snapped at him, his voice sharp with incredulity.
ダメですよ。アスコットさん。アスコット教も仕事中ですよね。
That's out of the question. Ascot, Lord Ascot, you're here on business, aren't you?
私の仕事ならもう終わったよ。陛下のご機嫌を伺って、その結果を伝えただろう。
My work here is done. I inquired after the Queen's health and reported it, didn't I?
でも、そうだな。
But on that topic, Ascot stopped trying to sit down but glanced between Linus and me before grinning.
そういうライナ君は何の
That was weird.
陛下の警護を請け負っていたんじゃなかったっけ？
Likewise, what kind of work are you so busy with right now, Line? If I remember correctly, weren't you on guard duty today?
これも警護のうちです。ウォードにはウォードのやり方があるんですよ。
This is part of my duties as a guard. We of House Ward have our own methods. Linus's tone frosted over, but that only made Ascot smile
な
wide.
るほど。これも警護のうちね。私が知らない間に随分と楽しいことになっているみたいだ。
I see, I see. So this is part of your guard duties. It seems that something quite amusing happened while I was unaware. How much does he know in the first place? Ascot sounded like he was playing with us toys. Irked I glared at him, but
俺は楽しんでるつもりはありません。
I don't find any enjoyment in this. I looked over at Linus, surprised by his growl. Likewise, he was frowning at Ascot.
おやおや、二人とも顔が怖いよ。
Goodness me, both of you have scary looks on your face.
ないつもりだけれど。
I'm not wrong now, am
いや
I?
的を射ているからこそ怒らせたのかな。
No, I riled you up precisely because I am accurate. Oh, that just reminded me. I took this drink. Oh no, did it melt completely away? Oh, kinda. I drew a happy face on it with an acrylic marker. And it's melted. It melted away. It's very metal. At an angle, you can see where the lines have gone. Linus didn't object, neither did I. Glaring daggers at Ascot in silence, faced with our hostility, even a carefree person like Ascot had to shrug in resignation.
はあ、悲しいね。どうやら私は歓迎されていないようだから、この辺りで失礼するよ。
What a tragedy. It seems that I'm not welcome. I'll see myself out.
お嬢様方、どうぞご歓談を。
Ladies,
次はぜひ
please.
私と楽しくお話ししてくださいね。
Chat to your heart's content. I'd be delighted if you enjoyed conversations with me as well next time. Light on his feet, Ascot left the room faster than we could say farewell like Lily had.
君はどうする？
What are you gonna do? I'm gonna go home. Everyone thought the queen. If I just had Lily, I could have at least asked for a palace tour. Sadly, I wasn't so foolish as to ask Linus for that, given his suspicion of me. I shall also make my return.
そう。なら、馬車に乗るまで送らせてもらうよ。
Okay, I'll accompany you to your carriage. Of course, he wouldn't let me go anywhere alone. I let out a small sigh and left the palace behind for now. The exhibition was right around the corner today. Why did we waste our time with this? Why go to a party only for everyone to leave that party and all the conversations? That was nothing of value. We learned nothing. It was just a waste of a scene. The exhibition was right around the corner. Today, the Bernstein's estate hosted its final 5 houses conference. As for me, I was volunteered to go shopping errands and came out into the city. Naturally, my motive was taking on this job was to see John. I can't let this chance slip by. Linus is in the conference meeting, so he can't monitor me. He seems to have dispatched his subordinates of surveillance to surveil me. So, surveil. I had first sensed a gaze. Is this like the weirdest way to surveil? Like monitor, to watch, like, I don't know why surveil, it sounds weird. I had first sensed a gaze on me earlier, and finally I glanced in that direction. Someone I recognized was telling me. He's deliberately staying within sight to let me know that I'm being watched, but I'm no thoughtless rookie. It's your first time and you've been sucking at it. As a trial, I went around a few stores for normal shopping and confirmed that my watcher didn't follow me all the way into the shops. Of course, there were likely others assigned to me lurking in the vicinity, but I can work with this. Deeming that I could progress safely, I went along to the usual bookshop. The moment I entered, I spotted him. With eye signals, John reported that there weren't any members of the house ward within the store. Reassured, I walked up next to him. Tell me? I didn't let my guard down, whispering to him similarly. He reported to me in a hushed voice. It'll be carried out on Expedition Day. Ravens will stir up an uproar from the bombing, so I'll make use of the chaos to approach the queen. Yes, the Ravens say they don't care if you kill her. They also promise to back us up. Can we trust them? Personally, I think so. They want to wrest control of the nation away from the queen. If so, it's more convenient for them that she's gone for good, pretty much. After that, we succinctly discussed our plans for an actual day, keeping it short. Soon, I felt that my time was running out. It's been 10 minutes. It'd be unnatural to stay for any longer since I'm here for an errand. I'm leaving. Take care. Milady. I'm glad you're safe. Hearing that, the first time since I came in, I met John's eyes. I could easily see in them what he truly meant to say. The day we met, Leonardo and Linus took me. I heard that it was an Eden resident who told Edward what happened. It's obvious who asked the resident to do it. Don't think I didn't realize John. We've been together for years, I know you. Since we didn't have time to say much, I gave him a small smile and touched his shoulder. Don't fucking touch him. It was dangerous to linger, so I immediately turned away, but as I left, I was comforted knowing that he's always had my back. When I returned to the estate, it appeared that I'd made it just as the conference concluded. I ran into Lucas, trying to leave ahead of everyone else as usual. Thank you for all your hard work, Lord Lucas.
Oh.
Yeah. I never expected lively conversation with Lucas, and I assumed the sentiment was mutual, but for some reason now he didn't move. If there is anything I can help you with, please feel free to tell me. Thinking he might have some kind of request, I addressed him. After opening and closing his mouth several times, Lucas found his voice.
困っているのはそっちじゃないのか?
Aren't you the one who needs help? Huh? I couldn't make any sense of his words. I don't think I've ever actually distressed in front of him. Where is that coming from? He seemed to have sensed my bafflement seeping out. Lucas scratched his head through his hood, frowning a little in regret.
今のは忘れろ。だが、あまり無謀な真似をするなよ。
He's so much quieter than the music right now. Never mind. Forget it. Just don't be too reckless. Then Lucas briskly walked past me and out the estate, leaving me confused once again. What was that about? As flightly as a bird, I couldn't ask him even if I wanted to. I considered forgetting about it like he said, but I couldn't help but be bothered by the emotion I heard in his words. It was something I sensed often from John too, to real worry. Why would Lucas be worried about me? Gazing at the now deserted entrance, I rifled through my memories of conversations with Lucas, but I still couldn't make heads or tail of it. After putting away what I brought in from the city, I headed back to cleaning. The others had tidied up the conference parlors already, so I proceeded to the Great Hall, but as I passed the parlor, I overheard voices. Is there still someone there? Maybe Edward and Alfred are continuing discussions. They often spoke as just the two of them, so I pulled open the door to ask whether they needed refreshments. Contrary to my expectations, I found Linus inside alone with the evening glow as his backdrop. He stood by the window staring out. If he noticed me, he might tense up. I moved to leave quietly, but then he realized that I entered, shifted his gaze to me, and smiled. Nice art. Yeah, but does it make you feel anything? I feel like they don't have a lot of romance so far. Is this just the gentle color of the sunset, or is his smile sweeter than usual? It was a smile that reminded me of his sunny disposition, a smile I hadn't seen in recent days. My eyes grew hot. See, I'm not sure. Yeah. Like, I love the art style. I just don't know. They pick what they're going to turn into a CG. I don't know if this was the moment. I had the feeling that if I approached him, something within me was going to collapse beyond repair. My feet were glued in place.
なんだか久しぶりに会った気がするよ。
Just realized we haven't checked the flow chart recently. Ah, there's a bad ending here at chapter 3. Or a different path. This is such a straight line. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Okay.
そんなことないはずなのにね。
It feels like I haven't seen you in a long time, even though that isn't true at
どう
all.
してだろうね。でももしかしてだけど、君もそう思った。
I mean, you've been accusing me of like being a spy of some kind and maybe having something out for the queen, so it's been hard to be around you lately. It's quite a mystery, but by some chance did you have the same thought? I did. I thought my voice might come out shaky, but it came out strong and clear. My answer must have delighted him because Linus smiled so broadly that I could see his teeth shine even from across the
やっぱり
room.
そうだった。不思議だね。夕焼けのせいかな。
I knew it. It's so strange. Maybe it's because of the sunset. He said something similar to what I thought about him moments earlier, but the next moment his expression
もうすぐ
stiffened.
博覧会が開催されるけど、君は行くの？
The exhibition is almost here. Are you going? I'm not. I have worked in the estate. That was naturally a lie, but it was a lie I prepared in advance, so I managed to say it without losing my composure. Perhaps it had come out too smoothly, that it sounded artificial, to my surprise.
それがいいと思うよ。
Yeah, that's for the best. He isn't going to press me for answers this time. Well, that's most likely because my doing shouldn't affect what he's up to. If so, what was the point of this moment between us? Linus said something out of
Ne,
the
Rosa.
blue.
鬼ごっこ、楽しかったね。
Hey Rose, playing tag with you was fun. When do you mean? We play tag? It was. I had the time of my life. Before I could think deeply about it, the words slipped out by themselves. Linus already knows who I am. That was why he's saying this specifically. My heart felt it without needing to deduce it with my head. That was why I answered frankly. I half expected Linus to burst with bloodlust at my answer. Instead, a contented smile bloomed on his face.
俺もめちゃくちゃ楽しかったよ。
Me too. I had so much
君はす
fun.
ばしっこかった。木の間を縫うように走り回って捕まえられないかもって何度も思ったよ。
You were so quick and slippery. You weaved between the trees as you ran about. There were many times I thought I wouldn't catch you. You were so light on your feet. You jumped from one tree to another. I even thought that you were floating.
え、そんなこと考え
You
てたん
did?
だ。
Yeah, but I still thought there's no way I'd let you catch me, so I kept at it and ran with everything I had.
俺が捕まえたね。
But I caught you. Oh, I felt like the moment where he turns into a bad guy. My bad. Before I knew it, I was also smiling. My lips curled into a broad, radiant smile I'd never shown him. And that was when it hit me. Linus was giving me this last moment where we could talk with smiles on our faces because he knows what's waiting
俺
for
は
us.
何度でも君を捕まえるよ、ローズ。
I'll catch you no matter how many times I have to, Rose. Not this time. As if we were reciting the lines in a play, we conversed naturally. This was the cue for our farewell and the cue for the start of our battle. Time to stab him. After speaking with Linus, I got back to work. He left the estate immediately afterwards, but I couldn't work up the motivation to clean where his presence still lingered, and so I decided to work in the garden first. The sun's going to set soon. Cleaning outside at this hour would be taxing for Evelyn and the others, so I made the right choice. Thinking about the kitchen that was busy preparing dinner, I didn't even think I could be... oh gosh, I did everything I could to force myself to have a positive mindset. That effort came to naught as I entered the garden. A certain someone was standing there as if he had been waiting for me.
やあ、
Ascot.
今日はもう会えないかと思っていたよ。
Hello there. For a moment, I thought that there wouldn't be a chance to see you today. I was also under the impression that you had long returned to your residence. Lord Ascot, do you have some business with me? I was still on the edge after seeing Linus and subconsciously spoke to him in a biting tone. Not to mention that the unsavory comments he made the day of the tea party still bothered me.
もちろん用があるから待っていたんだよ。
Of course, there's something I want to give you. Ascot wasn't perturbed, at least by my attitude. He closed the distance between us. He wanted to give me something. Him. I already know it's nothing respectable. Out of wariness, I began retreating the equal amount of distance he closed in when... Okay, huh? He seized my arm. The moment I looked into his eyes, I froze in place as if bewitched. What?
そう警戒しなくてもいい。私は君に害をなすつもりはないよ。それどころか、君が欲しいものをあげよう。
You don't have to be cautious around me. I have no intention of harming you. In fact, I'm giving you something I know you want. Ascot took out a knife with stunning craftsmanship that gleamed silver.
これを使えば女王を倒せる。信じなくても構わないけれど、私は君の味方だ。
If you use this, you can take down the queen, believe me or not. But just so you know, I'm on your side. Uh, As if slowly poisoning my mind, Ascot's breathed those words into my ear. My head is dizzy. Is this his power as a puka? I can't let this go on. I've got to keep an iron grip on my consciousness. Alarm bells rang in my head, and I wondered if I should use my face sight, but at the last moment I stopped myself. I'm afraid I don't understand you. Barely managing to utter that, I resisted and somehow averted my gaze so that I wouldn't look in Ascot's eyes. The man sighed, sounding disappointed, and released his grip on my arm.
やれやれ。まだ演技を続けるなんて頑固だね。まあいいさ。君の正体を暴くのは私の仕事ではないし。
Oh dear, you're quite the stubborn one to keep up this act even now, but as you wish. It's not my job to dig up your identity.
本当にこれを渡したいだけなんだけれどね。君のためにも、私のためにも。
I'm being honest. All I want to do is hand this over for your sake and mine. What does he mean by that? Still on full alert, I regarded him again. There was no longer anything strange about his eyes,
悪い
however.
ことは言わないから、このナイフはその時まで大事に持っておいね。
I'm telling you this for your own good. Carry this and wield it well when the time comes. Casting away his casual pretentiousness, Ascot forced the knife into my hand. Judging by the wording, he realized my identity too. I thought I was the one being cornered here, but by some chance, does he also have his back against the wall? If so, what or who was pressuring him?
私が味方だというのは博覧会で証明してあげよう。会場で会えるのを楽しみにしているよ、ローズ。
I'll prove that I'm on your side during the exhibition. I'm looking forward to seeing you there, Rose. Ending our conversation with an alluring smile, Ascot vanished, not turning back once. The next few days rushed by. Unable to discard the knife I received from Ascot, I held onto it until the day. And today was the exhibition.
旦那様は
Where's Lord Bernstein?
それがずいぶん朝早くに出られたみたい。ちょうど私たちが朝の掃除をしている間に。
About that, he apparently left very early, right when we began our morning cleaning.
え？じゃあ誰もお見送りしてないの？
Does that mean no one saw him off? Isn't that like really bad?
いやいや、ニコラスさんが一緒だから大丈夫だって。別に俺たち寝てたわけじゃないんだしさ。
No, Nicholas was with him. It's fine. It's not like we were snoozing or anything.
君もそう思うだろ？
You think so too, right? Yes. After finishing our first task in the morning, we found ourselves assembled in the entrance hall. It feels like everyone is in a bright mood. Is it because of the exhibition? Or the lies? There was a total of 4 people from this estate attending the exhibition. First there was Edmund, who was accompanied by Nicholas. Then there was Edward. This was Edward, the exhibition's lead organizer, and his sister Lily. In short, the event had nothing to do with us servants, but maybe it's still something that makes them happy. It was a grand national event after all. On top of that, the next head of the household we served was overseeing its execution. Perhaps excitement was to be expected.
ねえ、今日の買い出しは小分けにして順番に行かない？
Hey, how about we split up
少しは
our
博覧会
shopping
の
today
雰囲気を味わえるでしょ？
and take turns heading out? That way, everyone can get a taste of the exhibition's atmosphere.
お、いいね。それ
Ooh,
賛
I like
成。
it. Count on me.
そんなことしていいのかな？
Is it okay to do that?
せっかくの機会だもの、ちょっとぐらい
It's not
多分
every
大丈夫だ
day
と思いたいわ。
we have a massive event, so surely celebrating a little, I mean, it's probably fine. Nicholas isn't around. I don't think anyone would find out. I calmly voiced my support, hearing I was on board. The others grew even more excited.
あんたがそんなこと言うなんて意外。話がわかるようになってきたじゃない。
I never thought I'd say something like this, but you're definitely becoming more down to earth.
いいね。じゃあ今日はみんな共犯ってことで。
Nice! That makes all of us accomplices.
そうですね。
Right. I don't mind going last. I'll head out to do my part in the afternoon, so please feel free to go ahead of me, everyone. While I made my humble offer, my chest ached. I was taken aback by my own reaction. All I've done is jump at this chance for my own convenience. I want an excuse to leave the estate without arousing suspicion. If this were any other day, I wouldn't feel distressed about something this trivial. Guess I grew attached to them. But that all ends here. The moment I leave here today, I return to who I truly am. Then I would take down the queen at the exhibition. Whether my attempt ended in success or failure, I'd never return as a maid. In my heart, I quietly bidded them farewell. To Evelyn and her bright smile, to Charlotte and her shy blushing, to Philip and his antics.
やあ、みんな楽しそうだね。もしかして博覧会へ行く相談でもしている？
Looks like you're all having fun. Do you happen to be plotting a way to see the exhibition?
そんなことないですよ。今日も真面目に働きますって。
No, not at all, my lord. I'll be hard at work today, same as any other day.
買い出しに行くふりなんてしません。
We're not gonna pretend to go out for shopping errands, never.
短い夢だった。二人ともごまかすの下手すぎない？
The dream was nice while it lasted. You two can't lie to save your lives. Agreed. Philip and Charlotte lost their composure. Evelyn and I whispered, commiserating together. Even after seeing the scene, Edward's smile didn't falter.
私相手に言い訳しなくてもいいよ。ただ、ニックに見つかるとうるさいだろうから、博覧会を除くなら気をつけて。
You don't have to line up excuses for me, but if Nick finds out, you will never hear the end of it, so be careful.
でも、
But Rose, in your case, unlike his gaze directed at the other three, Edward looked at me with worry. I'm aware my trip will be genuine shopping errands, and I'll return right away afterwards.
そうなの？
Wait, you will? Evelyn raised her voice in surprise. I only gave her a faint smile with that explanation. Racking up lie after lie will only make it harder for me. I shouldn't say anything unnecessary. Soon I'll never see her again.
それじゃ、行ってくれよ。
Well then, I'll be heading out now.
いってらっしゃいませ。
Please have a safe journey, my lord. In unison with everyone else, I saw Edward off, though for me it was my last goodbye. Goodbye, Edward. I never got to learn how much you were involved in the tragedy, but you were concerned about Rose until the very end. As far as I know, you are a person with a kind heart. Thank you. I prayed I wouldn't run into him in the venue. There was only one person I would reveal my identity to for my revenge, and that was Linus. He already knows. Afternoon arrived. It was my turn to shop. Wearing my iron mask, I left the estate. All the possessions I brought to this estate were dispensable. Therefore, I only carried my pocket watch, my own knife that I'd kept hidden. And lastly, the knife of silver and iron that from Ascot. All prepared, I made my way to the exhibition venue. I arrived at the park near the venue, which was overflowing with throngs of people. They must have come from all over Grand Albion, and their destination, of course,
いよいよあの
was...
建物の中に入れるんだな。
We can finally enter that building today.
楽しみだ。
I
あ
can't
の中
wait.
にはグランドアルビオンの先端技術の粋が集められているらしいぞ。
We'll finally get to see the cream of the crop, Grand Albion's most advanced technologies. In the distance, I saw a building of glass, like another palace. Groups of visitors strolled towards it, chittering excitedly. With this many people around, it's unlikely I'd be spotted by someone who knows me. But just in case, I was on alert for members of House Ward. I didn't see any, however, nor did I sense anyone's gaze on me. Instead, what caught my eye were the humanes from Frumdalen, their features and fashion distinct from Albion's. Edward was the only, and the other mentioned that they invited influential people from Femdalen. Still, there are more than I thought. I hit the wrong button? How could I embarrass myself like this? Excuse? How did I... If I remember correctly, they said these humanes were visiting amicably, but not all of them were from friendly nations. Even if House Ward's worry of me, an event on this scale doesn't allow them to focus on a lone person like me anymore. Linus suspected I had a connection with the Twilight Ravens, and it was well known that the Ravens announced they would attack the exhibition. Knowing Linus, he already pretended predicted I would come. I only had one path ahead of me, take action and settle things once and for all. We exchanged our last conversation with that subtext written between the lines. I was almost immersed in my sentiments against my better judgment when a familiar presence strolled up next to me. I turned to look at him. How are things?
上々だ。
Smooth sailing. Our gazes only locked for a second before we looked forward again. We spoke as we marched on, maintaining our purposeful
もうすぐ
gait.
爆発が起きる。それが決行の合図だ。
The bomb will detonate shortly. That'll be our cue to move. Smoke's going to rise up, right? And then...
ああまずは最初の爆発音とは正反対の方向へ走る。そこから先は
To start, we'll run in opposite directions of the first
レオナルド
explosion.
が先導するが、
From there, the boy Leonardo will lead the way.
案内役はいらないかもしれない。俺たちを行かせまいとする奴らが立ちはだかる方。
But maybe we don't need a guide. There will only be one place where enemies will line up conspicuously and stand in our way, and that's the direction you ought to go, milady. Plain and simple. Nodding at John similarly of our plan, I thinly smiled. The next moment, a thunderous roar shook the exhibition.
防げなかったか。だけど、これからだ。
I couldn't prevent it, but what matters is what happens here on out.
始まったね。さて、彼女はどこまで頑張れる
So
かな
it begins. Now then, how far can she go? Bum, ba-da-dum, ba-da-dum, ba-da-dum. And that's our signal.
あ
Yes. John and I nodded at each other before taking out our knives we had kept hidden on us.
ここまで来たら僕の手を使うなとは言わない。だが、できるだけナイフで戦え。
My lady, now that we've come this far, I won't tell you to avoid using your ace, but do what you can to only fight with your
その
knife.
ために俺もいる。お前は前進し続けろ。
I'm here for you too. Keep going and don't stop. Yeah, got it. The ace up my sleeve, my ability to bewitch people with illusions, came with a great cost. I also wanted to avoid using it unless absolutely necessary. Giving each other another nod, we sprinted in the opposite direction of the explosion.
何が起きたの？
What was that? What happened?
向こうでテントが燃えているぞ。
The tent on the other side's on fire. Something exploded. Startled by the sudden booms, visitors began running away along the clearest path just like we were. It was an obvious mentality to distance oneself from danger, unfortunately for the innocent and unaware. This time there was a deafening explosion on the path of escape. Smoke rose before the panic-stricken guests. They scattered, running every which way in a jumbled mess. There's an explosion to the right. Should we go left? For a moment, I stopped in my tracks, but at last a boy emerged ahead of us, jumping and waving his arms to stand up. Got a lot of energy and not a lot of expression in that face. Mr. Retainer, you come too. Go straight, Leonardo. Let's go, my lady. Like John said, the boy showed up as our guide. I waved to thank him, and he gave us a thumbs up before yelling again. No matter where the explosions go off from now on, go straight. The queen's there. Thanks. I shouted at Leonardo as we passed, any sensitive information swallowed by the chaos, then I focused fully on running. I charged without looking back. 8 years of suffering burned into my heart as I hit a button. Oh, the auto goes way too fast, by the way, for this stuff. I sprinted to the woman that I hated to the point of madness. As Leonardo said, several explosions resounded all around us after that, but John and I held fast. There's no one around us now. Everyone evacuated towards the park entrance. It makes sense. The explosions were positioned to lead guests down a specific route. I'm gonna go to options really quick. Just in case it keeps going on, I don't have to worry about it. It's also my controller. I'm just holding my controller with one hand, and so sometimes it falls. And that's what happened. I was removing my leg. There's no one around us. Everyone evacuated. The Twilight Ravens didn't intend to harm the people who were coming coming to sight. See, like me, they had only one true enemy. But as a matter of course, not everyone had ran away. In my peripheral vision, I spotted a shadow running parallel to us and tightened the grip on my knife. It's obviously banshees. A fist swung out. Our pursuers, uninterested in talking, John reacted instantly, blocking the punch with the butt end of his knife. The enemy backed away, but a handful of others appeared all around. As if spontaneously blinking into existence, we were surrounded. We couldn't afford to keep charging. Coming to a stop, I spun, counting the enemy's numbers when I saw a familiar face. This is as far as we will go. Linus's subordinates looks like he sees me wholly as an enemy now. That said, I was holding on an unsheathed knife, so I couldn't exactly make an excuse otherwise. Not that I would at this point. I'll defeat them here. There are too many to take on alone, but if I work together with John, it's doable. Just as I took a breath and prepared myself for battle, John whispered to me, I'll keep them at bay here. I'll tear an opening for you, so keep going, my lady. What? Don't be absurd. You're strong, but the physical abilities of these people are truly threatening. You can't deal with them. Don't waste your breath. Go. You're one step short of accomplishing the wish that you've held on in your heart for 8 years. You don't have time to waste standing here. You're right, but his words were firm, and I realized that John was also making a rational decision after analyzing our situation. In my head, I knew that I should prioritize what I should prioritize. Even so, when I considered what he'd end up trapped in this circle of bloodlust, it can't leave John behind. My lady. My body refused to budge. My heart was torn when suddenly Linus's words echoed in my mind. That's right. I can't afford to be caught here. My opponent is him. Got it. I'll go, John. But promise me, don't die without me. I would never leave you behind. We're in a murder-suicide pact. That's how this goes. John managed to smirk, and I replied with a tiny grin myself. Then he kicked the ground hard at the we kicked the ground hard at the same time and broke into runs. What? John's knife glinted as he swung it at the men in our way. Matching his timing, I thrusted out my knife, but as a feint, remaining low to the ground, I ran past my opponent's side. John, I'm trusting you to this. I never turned back, knowing him he would manage things well. My only choice was to believe in him and keep running, however. You're not going anywhere. I'll kill you right here. There's still so many of them. Easily twice as many men than the group we had surrounded us earlier blocked my way. Is this as far as I can get? I hadn't wanted to use it yet, but beggars can't be choosers. I focused my mind, about to activate my face sight, but then... Huh? Without warning, the men's movements froze. They hadn't simply stopped moving. Their hands went limp, their eyes glazed over, and... some crouched down, screaming, holding their heads in agony. My, looks like I made it just in time. Lord Ascot. From the cover of chaos, out walked the Baron, stand-in, with a leisurely gait. He smiled at me with satisfaction. Is this proof enough? I told you I'm on your side. Are you responsible for this then? Precisely, bewitching people is one of Puka's powers. That's all I shall say for now. You brought the knife I gave you, yes? Yes, I have it. That's a relief. I suggest you get going. The one you're looking for is right around the corner. There were thousands of things I wanted to ask Asuka, but why was he helping me? What was so peculiar about this knife? But I don't have time. It's undeniable that he's helping me. Regardless of his personal motives, if his goal and mine overlap, I had no objection to accepting his aid. I'm going to kill the queen. That's okay with you?
もちろん。そのためのナイ
Of
フ。
course, that's the point of the knife. I wanted to be unequivocally clear with his answer. Thank you, then I'll take my leave. I thanked him before I resumed my charge. The main venue of the exhibition had risen over the park like a mirage in the distance, but at last I'd reached the corridors. Look at these. We got a blimp, we got a train, we got a plane, we got a hot air balloon. Got a horse, a lion, something, and a bird. Probably a dog. Probably a dog. Is the queen here? The building's interior was silent, and at a glance, barren. The explosion hadn't damaged this building. Is there a chance she's already fled? No, John said there'd be a smoke signal if that happened. Still, knowing that unpredictable, pure fey woman anything was possible, on full alert, I surveyed my surroundings. The next moment, the footsteps echoed in the stillness. I shifted my gaze, and someone I knew very well entered my sight. When a Scot said the person you're looking for, this was probably who he meant. He's so disagreeable. I pressed my lips into a line, but I braced myself for this moment long ago. Here to fight you. This looks terrible. I don't understand what's happening. Before me was a frightening, strange moment for a smell. Yeah, their expression looks weird. She does look like she's looking at him. I don't know if they're actually supposed to be this close to each other, but it looks weird. Before me was a frightening beast, adorned in a cloak of bloodlust, sharp claws extended from his fingertips. Like, they should be, like, glaring at each other at this point. His once charming ears and once dazzling wings were both nothing but threats to me now. I should be afraid, but how strange, some part of me is rejoicing. I wasn't scared nor despondent. Rather, I felt blessed that we had the opportunity to face each other without intrusion. It was just
やっ
us.
ぱり来たんだね。
You came after all. Yes, I came. The queen is down the path you're blocking, isn't she? I never expected an answer, but to my surprise, Linus flashed me a
避
troublesome
難して
smile.
ほしいとお願いしたんだけどね。会いたい人がいるから動きたくないってさ。君のことかな。
I did request she evacuate, but she said there's someone she wants to see, so she doesn't want to move. Did she mean you? Who knows? I could never figure out what was going on in the queen's head, but if she'd stayed behind because I was making my way to her, then I'll have to thank her for her foolishness. As long as I was able to defeat Linus, I could get to the queen. I was the only one step short of my goal, no matter how difficult that one last step might be. You know who I am, don't you?
分かってるからこうして待っていた。君に語ったことを実行するために。
That's why I waited here. I made a promise to you once and now I'll act on
俺は
it.
陛下にあだなす存在をウォードのものとして感化するわけにはいかない。
As a ward, I cannot ignore those who pose a threat to Her Majesty.
殺し合おう。
So let's fight to the death, Apros. It had been 8 entire years since he had last called me my real name while looking at me in the eye. My heart stirred. I'm such a fool. We're gonna kill each other very soon. It's not like he called my name out of love, but I still feel happy. Linus quietly raised his clawed hands and stabbed. His eyes were aflame. Meeting his passionate gaze, I held my knife at the ready. Yes, let's fight to the death. That said, I don't intend to die here. But you're willing to let me kill you, right? Linus grinned, revealing his sharp white teeth.
殺されても構わないよ。ただし、俺は絶対に君のことも一緒に連れて行く。
You can kill me if you want. If that's what you want, but I'll definitely take you with me. The hall was silent, except for our breath. We never took our heated gazes off each other, almost as if we were lovers. I would argue you're not. The dawn. Oh. Curious, actually. Let's go to... Interesting. I don't like this flow chart. I want to scroll down more. I want to see how far it goes, but it takes me back to the top. I feel like our quiet stare would last an eternity, but the moment the truth came like a lightning strike. I should have been outside Linus's reach, but he closed the gap in a blink of an eye and swung his long claws at my throat. I leapt back just barely, pulling to safety. A few strands of my hair flew into the air. I tried to restore my balance, but before I could, Linus made for a follow-up attack. Dead. At this rate, I won't be able to even dodge. In that case, I shouldn't hold anything back. Aiming for the moment Linus unleashed his next strike, I used my ace. It's been a long time since I saw them. My wings unfurled, wearing the color of sunrise. Oh look, my hair is its normal shade again. 4 wings, proof that I was a demi-fae, proof that I was a Randolph, stretched out brilliantly, a distraction that diminished Linus's momentum. Long strands of light, gold billowed out behind me by my gentle wind of my beating wings. I released the disguise that Obrion granted me and returned to my original form so that I could wield my full powers as a demi-fae. I faced Linus as myself at last.
その姿を見るのは久しぶりだ。羽を出したところは初めて見たけど、君らしい、綺麗な色だね。
It's been a long time since I saw you like this. It's the first time I've seen your wings, but of course they're beautiful like you. I don't think so. If my wings matched who I am now, I'd have preferred darker color. Linus spoke with nostalgia, but I disagreed. Something about his reaction bothered me. I was hoping that my transformation could deter Linus even just a tiny bit, but contrary to my expectation, he had stopped moving altogether and was staring at me. There was something new in his gaze. Don't tell me, is he being sentimental about the past at a time like this? I certainly didn't expect that, but I can't afford to let this chance slip away. If he wasn't attacking, then it was my turn. I drove into Linus's reach and swung my knife. Ha! Too slow. The tip of my knife barely missed him, and Linus returned the favor without missing a did I say a beat. But his movement was within my expectations. The moment he dodged my knife, I ducked. Using the momentum of straightening my knees, I picked up my foot. You're surprising as ever, but if I catch you like this... my kick struck Linus's arm, but unfazed, he moved to hold my leg in place. I couldn't take that lying down, of course. Before he could restrain me, I slashed, and for some reason, Linus backed off readily. Something isn't right. It's not like he isn't fighting seriously. It's more, since I've unleashed my powers as a demi-fae, I was able to move faster. My race, unsealed, didn't possess much talent for battle. I never assumed that I'd be able to fight or even on even footing with a Q-Sith. Linus's movements have grown dull. This blood is truly infuriating. I picked up a whisper of what slipped under Linus's breath. It reminded me of what John said to me. Does he not want to hurt me because I'm cool? Could it be because I've transformed back into a demi-fae he can't attack me wholeheartedly? It's pitiful. You decided to kill me because you are Q-Sith. But that very blood is getting in your way. You can't attack me with everything you have. I honestly pitied him, and Linus spat back with self-consent. Yeah, that's right. I can't fight my own blood, and I can only make ambivalent choices, unable to commit to one
あの
side.
時もそうだった。だから今度こそ自分の選択を貫きたい。
It was the same back then. That's why this time I want to persist to the very end.
陛下を守るために君を殺せ。そう決めたんだ。
I'll kill you to protect the queen. That's what I have set in my heart. Linus yelled, trying to convince himself before cloaking himself with bloodlust again. Likewise, I got into a fighting stance once more. It looks like Linus has recovered from his hesitation. I can't afford to drag this out. This time, I'll use my phase sight hand. I would settle things the next time I got in range, the moment I found my resolve. An explosion roared out closer than it should have.
陛下
Your Majesty! Seeing smoke billowing over us, Linus spun around, racing to his leash. Naturally, I wasn't about to just let him go. I ran after him. Stab him in the back. Before I could lay my eyes on the queen, however, Linus halted his run and so abruptly that his body jolted. Now's my chance. I didn't know what had stopped Linus, but I couldn't afford to miss this opportunity. Linus. Oh, boring. I rushed to Linus' side and reached out my hand as I activated my space sight. Touching him, I tried to inflict an illusion, my last resort. Fate had different ideas. Ah, the moment I used my powers, Linus' memories flowed into me. No, I don't want to see this right now. But I couldn't defy my potent power. I was unwillingly swallowed up in a raging torrent of ghosts of the past. Terrible at my job.
誰が火をつけたんだ。煙に紛れられる前に仕留めるか。
Who started a fire? We have to take him up before they start a smoke
警
screen.
戒さから愚かな奴らを皆殺しにしろ。
Slaughter all fools that dare go against the queen.
一人残らずやるぞ。
Don't leave a single one alive.
やめてやめてくれ。
Stop it already, Linus.
いつまでバカなことを言っているんだ。それでも空シーの血族か。
How much longer are you going to go on with such nonsense? Can you call yourself a
どう
Q-sip?
しても手を下せないというのなら、そこで我々の戦いを見ていろ。
If you insist that you can't take their lives, then stay there and watch.
彼女が殺される。みんな燃えてしまう。
She's gonna be killed. The fire's gonna burn everyone.
やだ。燃やさないでくれ。やめて。やめろ。
Please, no, don't burn them. Stop. No. Ha. The next thing I knew, Linus was collapsed by my feet, and as for me, I was looking between the flames flickering higher and Linus's tormented expression. I understand. I figured the fire was why you had a thing about fire. So his aversion to fire comes from the incident 8 years ago. You truly are so pitiful. I never seen someone more foolish. I knelt down next to him and reached out. I could tell my illusion was taking effect as his expression shifted. If I stabbed him now, what would be that? I would be able to make my way to the queen without interference. There was no reason to hesitate, but one stain spotted the ground. 2, 3. I had been crying so silently that I didn't even realize the stains were made by my tears. I'm just as much a fool as you. My hand touched Linus's cheek. As I felt his faint warmth, our days together until now flashed through my mind. Yeah, we're not. I hadn't realized it then, but
練習の時なら
we're not doing flashbacks. We don't do flashbacks. His smile was so carefree, it was just his nature. When I was drunk. What is this, a K-drama? His eyes held such a concern for me. Oh man, imagine.
大丈夫。怖い。
Imagine. His tender voice was filled with compassion. All these things awoke my dear and sorrowful memories. Everything would have been so much easier if hatred was all I felt, but not only was his past self special to me, His present self had wormed its way even deeper into my heart. Even his cold and ruthless expression.
Rose.
Even his scalding touch.
Ne,
We're
Rose.
gonna go through all of it, huh? When I saw his true feelings, I had rejoiced. I actually was thinking, are we gonna get the CG from just a second ago? Like, we just had this. No matter how much I tried to resist, I was fatally drawn to him like a moth to a flame. I can't kill you. Only a little while ago, I swore to battle Linus to death. I thought that there were no doubts in my heart. What's wrong with me? This is after everything? I don't need this love. I know I don't. But when it's time, it was time to settle at all. But when it was time to settle it all, my heart stayed my knife. What? My heart stayed my knife. I couldn't control it. Father, Mother, Riley, what should I do? The dead would never answer, especially since I knew they hated this path I chose, yet all of a sudden my mother's smile from the day appeared in my conflicted mind like a guiding light. Her words echoed to me.
誰に止められても自分でいけないと分かって抗ってはダメよ。
Follow your heart. I feel like that was before. Yeah. Is that what you were talking about, Mother? How would I be sure if my mother's advice applied to this mess I was in? Wiping my tears, I stared unblinkingly at Linus's face and asked my heart again. See, so this is my answer. After clearing my heart from all the noise, there was only one emotion left. To convey it, I took Linus's hand in mine and activated my power of illusion once more. Other side. Whoa. It was the dream I always had. I knew it nearly the moment it began. Looks like you're all better. I'm helping up because of you. Right after that, it would shift to the nightmare. The village would go up in flames and I'd cry and scream. The happy dream's still going. No matter how much time passed, the shift didn't happen. I only ran around the forest while she smiled. See, I can get to the top of the low trees like this in no time. I can climb taller trees too. Wow, you're amazing, Afros. You're a girl who can do anything, huh?
可愛いな。元気で明るくて輝く金髪が本当に綺麗だった。
She's adorable, she's energetic and bubbly, and her golden hair was stunning. When I looked up at the trees, I saw dazzling, gentle lights envelop her. In my eyes, she was the sun itself.
ウォード一族の使命、そう言われて陛下が求める女の子を探しながら国中を回っていた時、
Told that it was House Ward's duty, I hopped around the country, never staying anywhere long, seeking the girl the queen
本
wanted.
当は辛かった。厳しい訓練を受けながらの旅の中で怪我をして仲間ともはぐれて。
But the truth is, those times were painful. While undergoing relentless training, I got injured. I strayed from my companions.
心細くてこのまま死ぬんじゃないかと思った時に彼女に出会った。
I felt hopeless. I thought I might die all alone like that. And then I met her. She spoke to me as so kindly and encouraged me while she nursed me. She even cast a spell, hoping that I would heal faster. Then after I recovered enough, she brought me outside like this, saying it was
たくさ
rehab.
ん話してたくさん笑った。いつの間にか
We
その笑顔が
chatted and
大好
joked
きにな
around
って
so
た。
much I grew to love her smile. I'd wanted to cherish her brilliant smile like a treasure. Still, I knew that I had to leave eventually, so I never planned to tell
あん
her.
なにキラキラしてるからつい言っちゃったんだよな。
She was so radiant and dazzling that those words kind of slipped out by themselves.
でも
But I never got a reply. She said, I like you. I remember this flashback. Oh, when she said thanks. Okay, that's fine. That was what should have replayed in this dream, but somehow the girl in front of me smiled wide and said something else. I like you too, Linus. Huh?
好きって言った それにあの頃の俺はリアムって偽名を使ってたのに、今ライナスって。
Did she just say she likes me and she knew me as Liam, but she called me Linus? Utterly confused, I stared at her. Suddenly, the person who stood there wasn't the girl from my memories, but the woman who had been fighting fiercely with me today. I like you too. This isn't a lie to trick you or a strategy to weather out the storm. This is how I truly feel. Back then, what I felt for you was warm and pure. Compared to that, my feelings now are mixed of love and hatred, and it's suffocating, but at the same time. They're so much more precious to me than back then. I don't want to let them go. I love you, Linus. I love every part of you. Your smile that is radiant as the sun, and your ruthlessness that's as fierce as a beast.
そんな、俺だってあの頃よりもずっと君のことが。
That's the same for me. I like you. I love you much, much, much more than back then. Even though it was a dream, her presence was like a scalding sun. My feelings raged within me. Without thinking, I reached out for her. But this is a farewell, she uttered, almost admonishing me before smiling wistfully. Farewell? Why? She didn't reply. She only squeezed my hand once before letting go.
ダメだ。
Wait, no, you can't go.
待ってくれ。アプローズ。
Please wait, Apros. Roused by my own cry, my hand that reached to catch her cut through the air.
今の夢は一体。
What was that
おやお
dream?
や、誰かさんが伸びていると思えば、まさかライナ君とは。
Well, I thought I saw someone sleep on the ground, but I didn't expect it to be you, Line.
アスコットさん。
Ascot? The man amusedly peered down at me. Should have been by the queen's side.
どうしてここに。
Why are you
Hugo.
here? What about her majesty?
こんな時にまで使命優先とは。私が言えた義理でもないけれど、君たちも本当に不憫な縛られ方をしているね。
Prioritizing your duty even at a time like this? I'm in no position to say this, but you're kind of restrained in a truly lamentable way.
何が言いたいんです。
What exactly is your point, may I ask? My ire surged at the sympathy in his tone, coupled with my doubt about him appearing here and now. I didn't hide my apprehension.
そんな目で見ないでくれ。私はただ、ついた女性を追わずに血に縛られ、また失うことになるかもしれない君が。
That's fair. Don't look at me like that. You chose not to chase the lady who has your heart. You might lose her again because of the binds of your blood, and I simply
滑稽だと思っただけだ。
think that's hilarious.
アスコットさん。あなたまさか彼女の正体を知って。
You knew who she
今それは
was?
重要かな。
Does that
まあ
matter?
いいや。君も起きたことだし、私はそろそろ行くよ。
Whatever, you're awake. I suppose I should take my leave. Saying that, he began to walk away. I was torn between letting him go and disposing
ああ、一つだけ
disposing
ア
of
ド
him.
バイスを。
Big meanie.
君たち
Right?
一族の特性はあくまで妖精の女性を守るというものだ。
He's a hella arrogant guy, so honestly, that matches his vibe entirely. Let me give you one piece of advice. The characteristics of your clan is a compulsion to protect female fae in general, nothing more.
わかる？あとは相手に抱く気持ちの強さの問題なんだよ。結局のところはね。
Clear enough? In the end, it all comes down to how strong your feelings are for the lady.
君が本当に大事なのは陛下かな？それとも初恋の君かい？
Is that person that's truly important to you the queen or your first love?
それは。
I,
それじゃあね、ライナ君。
Line. I focused my mind on Ascot's word rather than the man himself walking into the distance. Then I recalled the dream I just had. Somewhere, far in the distance, I heard faint footsteps that were fading away and my mind suddenly cleared. I looked around. Of course, I didn't see her here, but there was the slightest lingering warmth of her hand on my hand. It was no mere
あ
dream.
れは君が俺に見せてくれたのか。
Did you show me that dream? Dude, yeah.
行かないと。
I need to go, Anne. I stopped before I said the wrong thing. My Cusith blood, still loyal to the queen, compelled me from the depths of my body.
8年前のあの時もずっと聞こえてた。でも
This voice was speaking in my head the entire time during the incident 8 years ago.
あの時はそう言いながら動くこともできずに、ただ見てい
Back then, I said no, stop it, please, and unable to even move, I could only watch as the tragedy unfolded. I had been an indecisive boy, unable to follow my duty as a Q-Sith, and equally unable to protect the girl I liked.
同じ
Am
ことを繰り
I
返すのか
going to repeat history? No, my Q-Sith blood whispered, make the right choice this time, protect the queen. My tenacious curse bound me, refusing to let go. Nevertheless, the tender and gentle illusion she had weaved for me pushed my feet forward. I stood up rigorously as if to shake off the whispers before heading towards the footsteps. Her side. Not perturbed in the slightest, this woman sat with an unruffled smile as if nothing of note was happening around her.
嬉しいわ。あなたから私に会いに来てくれるなんて。
I'm so happy. I never thought you'd be the one to come see me.
あなたは誰？もしかして本当に私が会いたがっていたあの子なの？
Tell me who you are, dear. And are you really the person that I've wanted to see all this time? I didn't answer the queen. Asking me so innocently, I only took one step, then another closer to
ライナ
her.
がね、嫌にあなたと私を会わせまいとしてくるの。私の身が危ないからっていうのだけれど。
Line has been awfully stubborn keeping you away from me. He said it's because I would be in danger.
それはつまり、あなたが私の探し求めていた子だからじゃない
But
のか
that means
し
you're
ら。
the very girl I've been searching for all this time, aren't you? With a blink, the queen's eyes, which I believed could only harbor madness, sharpened. Under her piercing gaze, my body trembled. Is this fear or is it anticipation? An emotion that made my heart race and my hair stand on end nearly took over me, but the one I'd harbored for 8 years was stronger. Hatred. I would kill this woman that was behind it all and achieve my revenge. That was the only thing I had lived for all this time. And that's why I won't stop here. Finally, I was so close that I was before the queen, telling myself not to get swallowed up by her obsession. I reached into my
ね
pocket.
え、あなたなんでしょ？アプローズ。
Hey, it's you, isn't it,
その
Apros?
問いには俺が答えてやるよ
I'll be the one to answer that. Almost exactly as I retrieved my pocket watch, his voice rang out. What appeared wasn't his usual Robin form, but a youthful one I'd only met once in the forest.
久しぶりだなティア会いたかった
It's been so long, Tia. I missed you. Orbeon, the Fae King, wedged himself between me and the queen.
まあ、本当に久しぶりね、オベロン。私もあなたに会いたかったわ。
Goodness, it really has been so long, Orbeon. I wanted to see you too. The queen looked as if she only had eyes for me. She rolled her eyes over to Oberon. Unlike when speaking with me, she addressed her husband dispassionately.
私にまた力を貸してくれるつもりになったから、こうして会いに来てくれたのかしら。
Did you come to find me because you changed your mind, willing to lend me your powers again?
ああそうさただしそれには条件があるお前は俺とあっちへ帰るんだ
Yes, that's right, but I have one condition. You must come back to Tidanog with me.
またその話なのね。
This again? Orbeon, this isn't what you promised. Realizing that the conversation was going in a wayward direction, I interpreted. Oberon quickly only scoffed.
別に違わないだろう俺はティアに会うためにお前に力を貸したそしてお前は俺をティアの元へ連れてきた
How's it any different? I lent you my power so that I could see Tia, and you brought me all the way to her side.
これで契約は終了だというわけでそれは返してもらうぞ
With that, our contract has been fulfilled, so I'm taking that back. A whirlwind manifested, whipping to my hand and lifting the pocket watch up and away. No! He was going to take whatever he wanted, was what it seemed like, but Orbeon skillfully removed only his wing and returned the watch. I clenched my hand tightly, watched in awe, and considered Oberion's flippancy. I glared daggers at him. The contract has been fulfilled? I can't accept that. Didn't you tell me to take back your wing from the queen? Not to mention that your conversation now suggests that you're leaving for Tinanog before I kill her. I already knew his answer, but I still reproached him. Oberon tapped to step me with pity.
姉はこの弱り具合なら俺が取り返せる。そのためにティアを殺す必要もないし、お前にもティアを殺していいとは言ってないな。
With how weakened she is, I can take back my wing myself. I don't need to kill Tia for that, nor have I told you it's fine to kill her. So you're getting in the way of my revenge.
まあ、お前がティアを殺そうとするなら、そうなるな。
I suppose yes, if you're gonna try and kill Tia. Tension was high between us, threatening to snap it at any time. The one who dispelled it was none other than the subject of our argument.
ねえオベロン、あなたはまだ答えをくれてないわ。
Hey, Obrion, you still haven't answered me, but I guess
あなたも同然かしら。
that's an answer itself. Even though we were debating her murder, the queen's voice was filled with overt delight.
その子が私の可愛い子なのね。そうなんでしょ？
That child is my adorable girl, isn't she? She is, right?
ああ、間違いなくそいつはお前の探していたエインセルの末裔、アプローズだ。
She is no doubt the descendant of Encel you've been looking for, Apros. Hearing that, the queen clasped her hands in front of her chest, erupting in joy.
ついにこの時が来たのね。ずっとあなたを手に入れたかったの。
Oh my, I have been waiting for this day for too long. I have wanted to get a hold of you for the longest time.
私と一緒にいてくれるのでしょ？そのためにここへ来てくれたのでしょ？
You'll come with me, yes? That's why you came all the way here, yes? Once again, the queen looked like she only had eyes for me. I quietly barred my knife at her. No, I came here to kill you. I'll take revenge for what you did 8 years ago. I won't ever forgive you for what you did to my family and the villagers. Atone for your crimes with your life. I screamed and rushed her, knife in hand, but before the tip of my blade could pierce her...
だからさせないと言っただろう。久々に直に話してるんだ。俺の邪魔をするなよ。
Hey, didn't I just say I won't let you? This is my first chance to talk with her in person after so long. Don't get in my way. Even though we were indoors, a powerful gust swept through the room, flinging my knife away. Do I have to fight both the queen and the king? My chances of winning are hopeless. I'd finally managed to make it this far after persevering for so long, but faced with such strong opponents, I felt driven to a wall until I was aided by someone most
邪魔な
unexpected.
のはあなたよ。オベロン。
You're the one who's in the way, Obrion. She attacked Obrion? What's going on? The queen wore a face of rapture as she held out her palm towards Obrion.
せっかくこの子が私の元へ来てくれ
Oh,
た
she got a little claws too.
ティルナノーグへ帰ったりしないわ。私はここでまだまだ楽しみたいの。
This child was willing to come to my side at last. Of course, I won't return to Tinanog. I want to stay here and have much more fun.
そうだな、ティア。お前はそういうやつだったよ。素直に帰ってくれるはずがなかった。
Right, Tia. That's the kind of person you are. There was no way you'd come back without a
も
struggle.
っともっと弱らせてから出るつもりだった。でもいざその時になったらついなあ。だがここまで来て俺も手ぶらで帰るつもりはない。
I planned on coming out after she weakened you, but when she actually got close to you, I moved because I could think. Before I could think. But now that I'm here, I'm not going back empty-handed. Climbing casually back onto his feet, Obrion turned his own palm to the queen. And thus, the curtains rise on a battle between king and queen while I was left on the sidelines, neglected.
今のあなたじゃ私には勝てないんじゃないかしら。羽を私に取られているものね。
I don't think you can win against me in your current state. I've got one of your wings after all.
確かに羽はかけているが、その分お前を連れて行くという執念はある。それに、相当弱ってるだろう。
Sure, I'm missing one of my wings, but my obsession with you more than makes up for it, and you're feebler than you let on. The clash of power between two pure fae was staggering, and the gals raised the room. The gals raised the room. To me, they seemed evenly matched. If they take each other out like this, it works for me, but Obrion would never choose to kill the queen. I probably only had one option. With a plan in mind, I circled around to Obrion's back while avoiding their attention.
あら、もう息が上がってしまったの？妖精王ともあろう人が情けないのね。
Oh, are you already out of breath? How pathetic for you, for the supposed Fae King.
お前も羽が一枚ない俺を相手にしてるとは思えないほどボロボロに見えるぞ。
You look so battered that it's hard to imagine you're facing someone down a wing. Your age has started to show.
なあ、もういいだろう。グランドアルビオンがどうなろうと俺にとっては知ったことじゃない。
Come on, enough already. I could care less about the fate of Grand Albion.
二人で楽しく暮らそう。昔みたいに。
Let's live happily together again like the old days. Seeing that Obrion's focus was completely on the queen, I reached out to him, not with my knife hand, but my empty hand.
アプローズ。
Apros?
お前。
What are you? You finally noticed me, however. It's too late, Obrion. What? I'm using my powers on you. I already activated my Fae sight hand that was touching his body. You...
バカなやつだ。俺をやったらティアにいいようにされるのに。
You're a fool. If you take me out, Tia will do as she pleases with you. Even though Obrion took his wing back, I can still use my power, but an illusion on this degree isn't nearly enough to defeat him. Not for me to defeat him, that is.
いい子ね、アプローズ。これで私の勝ちよ。
Good girl, Apros. Now I win. Defenseless, Obrion was struck by the queen's attack, and was sent flying across the room. He let out one last obsessive cry, but before his body slammed onto the ground, he disappeared as if melting into the air. He's definitely not dead. Did he run away? I don't sense him anywhere nearby, so maybe he's gone back to Tiananug. But he didn't matter so long as he was no longer in my way.
やったわ。これで誰にも邪魔されずに私の望みを叶えられるのね。
Wonderful, now I can fulfill my wish without anyone's interrupting. As the queen giggled, I thrusted my hand towards her. This time, the hand held my knife. No, I'm the one who will fulfill my wish. I've been waiting for this moment. Once Obrion was defeated, the queen would let her guard down. That had been my aim. The knife I now wielded wasn't my own, but the knife of silver and iron that I had kept tucked away. Ascot, I'm putting my faith in you. Shouting that in my mind, I swung the silver knife down at the queen's wings. Did I kill her? No, she just screamed, but she is bloody. Hearing the ear-splitting scream, I was almost convinced of my victory, but then...
いけない子ね。そういう子。痛い目を見なさい。
Bad girl. You're a bad girl. A bad child deserves a painful lesson. Yeah. A powerful force ran through my body, flinging me backwards. I tried to stand, but I couldn't feel my limbs. Ha! Ha! Even so, I picked up the fallen knife. Because I couldn't command my hand properly, the best I could do was clutch it limply. I'm so close, and yet... The queen dragged her body across the ground, drawing nearer to me. Like me, she was wounded. All I needed was one last strike. As much as a scratch on her and I'd defeat her for good. But regardless of my drive, my weak grip almost dropped my weapon again. I don't have to stand. I'll stay grounded if need be, as long as I can reach her with just the tip of the blade when she gets closer. Please give me strength. I didn't know who I was praying to. Was it my family that I loved, John, who'd fought alongside me all this time? Perhaps I was praying to all of them, but the one who took my hand was him.
アプローズしっかりしろ
Uprose, get a grip, bro. Linus. Stunned by disbelief, I called his name. I didn't even have the strength to turn around, but I would never mistake his voice or his warmth for anyone else. Linus hugged me from behind, and just before I collapsed and was propping up my trembling hand, he held the knife together with me.
俺が支えるだから前を見て
I'll support you, so look forward. Why are you helping me? I fought back tears. In response, his arms supporting me, held me
それなら
tighter.
どうして君こそ俺を殺さずにあの優しい幻を見せてくれたんだ
Why didn't you kill me? Why show me such a kind illusion?
君が口にできなかった思いを幻に託して伝えたんだって考えていいんだよね
You entrusted the feelings you couldn't say out loud to the illusion to convey to me. Can I assume that? Yes, I knew it was going to be my last chance, so I wanted to tell you. No matter how I tried to erase them, my feelings for you stubbornly stayed, so I had to tell you even indirectly like that. Though I couldn't see his face, I could sense Linus smiling after hearing my
俺も同
response.
じだよどうしても譲れないものがあると分かったんだ
It's the same for me. I learned that there's something I can never give up on.
死なせたくない俺が助けてあげたい今度は選択を間違えたりしないよ
But I don't want you to die. I want to help you. This time I won't make the
ど
wrong
っちつ
choice.
かずの俺じゃなくてただ一つやりたいと思ったことをやるんだ
I don't want to be the indecisive boy I was. I want to follow my heart. Thank you. From the passion in his voice to the strength in his arms, his love was painfully clear. I can trust him. I can trust Linus. I was elated to believe that without a shred of doubt, it'd give me strength and courage. Once the queen comes near, I'll use my knife. I'll swing it together with you.
二人で
Yeah, let's do this together. Let's do it.
ライナ苦しいであるあなたがどうして私を裏切るのそんなこと
Line, you are
ないはずで
Cusis.
しょ
How are you betraying me? That shouldn't be possible, should it? The queen frowned at Linus, was imploring, compassionate eyes. She slowly approached us. Linus, however, wasn't daunted by her gaze. He spoke decisively to her.
あなたを裏切るんじゃないあなたより彼女を選んだ
I'm not betraying you. I chose her over you, that's all.
何それそんなことは許されないわ私は
What's with that?
全てなのよ
That's blasphemy! I am everything to your kind. Fuming with indignation, the queen closed the gap between her and us in one go, but to me, it was like she was moving in slow motion.
アプローズ
Now, Apros. Yes. No sooner had the queen thrust out her hand than we swung our knife. The next moment, a blinding light engulfed us. Did we do it? Did we murder her? No. Why does this happen again? Why do you and I have to... Within her shriek for a moment, I thought I heard a small whisper floating in the air. Did we kill her? The queen's scream rang in my ears, but I gradually faded away, replaced by silence. Slowly, the light subsided. When I opened my eyes, what I saw was... There's no one there. As if no one had been there from the start, only a vast, decimated room lay before us, with flames crackling over rubble. I don't know why, but I feel sure that the queen is no longer in this world. I managed to defeat her. I said it out loud, hoping it would feel more real rather than a sense of accomplishment. However, I was seized by loss and pain. It's as if I lost a part of myself. I'm sure that everyone with Fae blood is feeling that right now. The grief was the most indisputable proof that the queen was no more. If this is how I feel, what about Linus? As a Q-Sith loyal to the queen, his pain must be unbearable. Worried, I looked up at Linus's face as he still supported me. He shed silent tears. Are you really not going to regret this? You're a Q-Sith. Linus looked like he lost his home. My heart ached for him. Then his amber eyes regained some light as he gently gazed at me.
苦しいの血族だけど、苦しいそのものじゃない。俺の名前はライナスだ。
I don't know what I just heard. It both sound like it was in my room and not in my room. I'm a descendant of the Q-Sith, but I'm not the Q-Sith itself. My name is
君のことが
Linus.
好きなライナスなんだ。
I'm Linus, a simple man who loves you, so call my
俺
name.
お願い。アプローズ。
Please, Apros. Linus. Calling his name filled me with happiness, with love washing over me. I spoke the words I had wanted to say for years. I caught you. I hugged Linus's arms and squeezed him tight, and he tightened his hold on me in
俺も
turn.
君のことを捕まえたよ。
Me too. I've caught you,
Apros.
Apros. It's really, she has the eyes of like Toliban Hanako-kun. Okay. Only a handful of people knew the truth about the event at the exhibition venue that day. Nevertheless, the entire nation learned the queen's passing almost immediately. As if pouring salt on the wound of the shaken population, the queen's numerous cases of misgovernance were also publicized. One would think that Grand Albion would be plunged into unprecedented pandemonium, but with Edward and Alfred at the core, the five houses announced that they would take over governing, and they shouldered that responsibility with awe-inspiring competence. The declaration was made with perfect timing. Though some were suspicious and displeased, the nation steadily recovered its peace. Now, as for me, I'd accepted Linus's offer to recuperate from my wounds in the Ward townhouse, but I've got to leave this estate soon. The situation has changed completely after all. I was deep in thought, reflecting on House Ward's recent atmosphere when a lively knock rapped on my door.
入ってもいい？
Apros, can I come in? Yes, go ahead. As soon as I replied, the door opened to reveal a glimpse of brightly colored hair. His round eyes were slightly dimmed with concern.
怪我の具合はどう？
How are your injuries? I'm already all better now, don't worry.
本当に？特に足が痛むんじゃない？
You sure?
その、
Your leg must hurt a lot.
俺が掴んだ跡が残ってたりするんじゃ。
Are there possible bruises left from the time I grabbed you? Linus didn't have his fluffy ears out now, but I imagined them drooping down despondently. He's bothered by what happened, huh? I can walk fine. I can even run. There aren't any bruises left either, and if you don't believe me, do you want to take a look? He was so dejected that I felt somewhat sorry for him. To show him evidence of my recovery, I moved to pull up my skirt, but then...
わあ、しなくていいです。
Well, you don't have to. He waved his hands exaggeratingly and made a fuss. At least a flustered blush replaced his depression. I don't know what it said. I clicked the button too fast. The way he's so expressive is still so fun to watch. I hadn't seen it since we were kids. It's nice to see this side of him again. A bright personality that always surprised me, a frosty and merciless warrior. It was curious how they coexisted inside him.
っていうか、君のその感じって演技でもなんでもなく素なんだね。これは対応に困るな。
You know, by the looks of it, this isn't an act or anything. It's your honest nature. This is kind of tough to react to. It appeared he was thinking the same thing, but about me, just as I was about to ask what he meant, a voice called out behind me.
ライナス様、お客様がお見えです。
Lord Linus, you have a guest?
了解。
Got it.
すぐ行くよ。
I'll head over right away. I know it. It's better for me to leave this estate as soon as possible. Once he finished alerting Linus, the man directed a conflicted gaze at me before leaving. Everyone was on edge. After the battle, Linus explained to his house that he had been the one to assassinate the queen. I told him I didn't mind telling the truth, but he was very stubborn about it. When they received the news, some of his household denounced him, but there was also many who supported him. His charisma and popularity likely played a big part. In this way, House Ward had been divided in two, but there were one common understanding between Linus and the anti-Linus faction. They all agreed that I was the one who planted the seed that started it all. That's what they think of me, so I can't stay here. Maybe I should leave Rowan altogether. I was immersed in my pondering until I noticed Linus was still looking at me. Didn't he say that you have guests? You sure you don't have to go?
うん。行くんだけど、怪我の具合がいいなら君も一緒にどうかと思って。
I was going, but if your wounds are recovered well, I was wondering if you'd want to tag
今日の
along.
来客は俺だけじゃなく、君の様子も見に来たんだ。
The guests today also came to check on you. Me? Who in the world would do that?
会えばわかるよ。
You'll know once you see them. Linus replied ambiguously but meaningfully. He brought me along to the drawing room.
久しぶりだね。
It's been a while.
元気そうで何よりだ。
It's great to see you're in good health. Lord Edward, Lord Alfred too? I reunited with people I'd never expected. I blinked in surprise. I heard from Linus that they knew my situation, but it was my first time meeting them looking like myself.
それが君の本来の姿なのか。うん。そちらの方が君らしいと思うよ。
So this is what you actually look like.
よく似合う。
I think this suits you better. You look like a good match standing next to Lion too. Do you think so? I didn't know how to reply. Edward looked between me and Linus calmly and maybe even with a bit of a smirk. Looks like Edward knows the significance of me being here. But honestly, I'm still unsure what I should feel about the other 5 houses. I haven't had the chance to ask them properly what happened 8 years ago. Still, I could maintain my composure in front of these 2, and I really owed that to John. After I took revenge on the queen, I'd only managed to exchange a few words with John. We hadn't had a proper conversation yet. But Linus had told me about John's actions in the aftermath. After I decided to recuperate here, Linus had gone out to see him.
君には仲間を手ひどくやられたから、なんて言うべきか迷うところだけど。ひとまず彼女は元気だと伝えておく。
You dealt some severe injuries to my kin, so I'm a little torn about what to say. For now, I'll report that she's doing good
怪我の
health.
程度も重くはない。傷つけたのは俺だから、責任を持って治療させてもらうよ。
Her wounds aren't grave. I was the only one who harmed her, so I'll take responsibility to nurse her back to health.
言葉に迷うのはお互い様だな。でも、お前と一緒にいると望んだのはお嬢自身だ。
Same here about struggling to figure out what to say, but my lady wishes to
治
stay
療も
with
感
you.
謝する。
I've no right to object. I'm thankful that you'll take care of her.
あまり追求したくないから、その感謝はただの幼馴染としてのものと解釈しておくよ。何か彼女に伝えたいことはある？
I don't want to probe too deeply, so I'll interpret that as gratitude from a childhood friend. Do you have a message for her?
なら、俺は今、お嬢が行きやすい場所を作るために動いてる。と
In
伝
that
えてくれ。
case, tell my lady that I'm working on making a place where she can
そ
feel
のため
safe.
に、バーンスタインの息子とクレスウェルに協力していることもな。
Also, relay to her that I'm cooperating with the Bernstein and Cresswell sons for the sake.
エドたちと。
With those two. I didn't expect that.
女王なき今、ランドルフ家の名誉を取り戻そうと考える者は少なくない。
Now that the queen is gone, there's a significant number of people inclined to restore House Randolph's honor.
そして今名前を挙げた二人は、その筆頭だ。
Those who are at the
お前だって
forefront of
同
that
じ考
movement.
えだろ。
You want the same, don't you?
そうだね。
Yeah, I can't deny it. A place where I can feel safe. It's just like John to say that. Since he chose to work with these two, I have nothing to say to them. Not now, at least. There would eventually be a day where we had to have a proper conversation about it, but not today. While I organized my feelings, Edward and Linus were deep in conversation.
こっちの様子はどうなんだ？多分、ウォードが一番混乱してるとは思うんだけれど。
How are things here? I figured Ward is probably experiencing the most chaos out of us all.
ここにいてやれることは大体やったよ。ただ、そろそろ領地の様子も見てこないと心配だ。
I got the most of what I can achieve here too. I've done the most of what I can achieve here. But I've got to head back to our domain soon or else I'll start getting
それから
anxious.
各地に散った仲間の様子も知りたい。モードはもともと陛下のために国の各地で任務に当たっていたからね。
I also want to check on those stationed around the nation. Ward was dispatched on various missions for the Queen after all.
まあ、うちも大変だけど、バーンスタインもだいぶ騒がしいことになってるって聞い
We're
た
a
よ。
big mess, but
エドの
I
方こそ
heard
大丈
that
夫？
there's been a lot of commotion in Bernstein. So, Ed, is everything okay on your end? Linus bounced that question back. Edward grimaced slightly before answering, a hint of resignation in his tone.
父上との確執は深まったと思うけれど、これは最初から分かっていたことだ。気長に対話を続けていくしかないな。
The rift between me and my father intensified, but I was prepared for that. Patience and communication are the only remedies.
ただ、姉上は陛下を失ったことが答えたみたいだ。保養地へ引きこもってしまったから、そのうち様子を見に行こうと思っている。
But my sister is very shaken by Her Majesty's passing. She's secluded herself in a wellness retreat. I'll be paying her a visit soon. Lady Lily?
そっか。アルフレッドさんのところはどうですか？
How are things in your household, Alfred? Addressed by Linus, Alfred put on a harsh frown like he always did as he reported matter
ブ
of
レス
factly.
ベルは大きな混乱はない。粛々と事態を受け止め、新しい国のあり方に馴染もうとしている。
There hasn't been major disorder in Crestwell. We had accepted the situation solemnly and are adapting to the new ways of our nation.
さすがはアルフレッドさん。頼もしいですね。
I never expected anything less from you, Alfred. You're very dependable. Linus's respect for Alfred rang in his voice, but not even the ghost of a smile graced Alfred's lips as he continued.
でだ、ここまで話して分かったと思うが、今一番不安材料を抱えているのは、
I'm sure that it's
お前だ。
clear by now, but you are the one with the most concerns to deal
だ
with.
から、国のことは私たちに任せて、お前はお前の事情に専念しろ。
Therefore, you can entrust the matters of the country to us and focus on your own affairs. His tone was strict as ever, but his message was filled with worry. Linus looked between his visitors before speaking again. His tone was strict as ever, but his message was filled with worry. Linus looked oh, I hit the button.
それはつまり、ローアンを離れてもいいってことですか？
Do you mean that's all right for me to leave Rowan?
そう言ったつもりだ。
I believe that's
面
what I
倒事
said.
は私たちに任せて、領地や各地の様子を見てくるといいよ。
You can dump all the difficult stuff on us and go check on your domain and your kin.
アスコットさんはあまり姿を見かけないけれど、最近ではルーカスさんも動いてくれているし、三家が結束していればなんとかなるさ。
I don't see Ascot around that much, but Lucas has been willing to cooperate too. As long as we three houses come together, we'll manage.
だから少し長旅になっても大丈夫だよ。彼女も一緒に連れて行くといい。
It's okay even if the trip ends up a little long. I suggest you bring her. Huh? Edward suddenly turned towards me, and this time I blinked in a stupor. He addressed me so
君は
warmly.
もうここにはいられないと考えているんじゃないかな。今のこの屋敷の雰囲気から察せるものがある。
This is just my guess, but you probably think you shouldn't be here anymore, don't you? I can gather that much from the atmosphere here. Seeing both Linus and I at a loss for words, Edward forced a cheery tone.
一人旅より二人旅の方が楽しいに決まってる。恋しい相手とならなおさら。ね。
It's always great to have company on your journey, especially when your companion is someone you have affection for, right? Going on a journey together? I looked at Linus's face as I considered it. His eyes were soft and had softened from surprise to a smile.
じゃあ、一緒に行く？アプローズ。
Do you want to come, Apros? I do. Take me with you. Before I could consider it properly, my honest feeling leapt out of my mouth. Linus matched my eagerness.
行こう。俺も君と二人で旅がしたい。
Let's go. I want to journey with you, just the two of us. When we departed Roanne, We didn't head straight for the war domain. We decided to first visit the place where everything started with us, Eltbeek, where memories both grim and kind slumbered. Changing from carriage to carriage across several days, we covered the last stretch of to the village on foot. We were on a very tight schedule, but with Linus, I felt very hurried. I never felt hurried. Okay. But then we might have gotten a bit too relaxed. When we neared the village, our feelings got ahead of us. We wound up walking deep into the night without a care. When we finally arrived, even the night's beast and the mice they haunted were fast asleep. Sorry for making us come at a time like this.
ううん。俺も早く来たいと思っていたから。むしろ夜に着いたことが、俺たちには意味があるのかもしれない。
Don't worry, I also wanted to come as soon as possible. In fact, maybe it's more meaningful that we arrived at night. Yeah. The tragedy 8 years ago had happened at night. I had ran away, and Linus could only helplessly watch as the village burned down. Now the two of us stood shoulder to shoulder in this place by our own power. With our own wills, we had arrived right on time for us. I rushed because I knew we were close. Now it's almost dawn. It would be difficult to navigate the rubble in darkness, but the moonlight was bright enough to light up the village. Is it okay if we walk around for a bit?
もちろんいいよ。でも転んだりすると危ないから、手をつなごうか。
That's right, hold hands. Of course, it'd be dangerous if you fell over though, so let's hold hands. I'm not clumsy. I've got relatively good reflexes, so even if I trip over some debris, I won't come crashing down. I retorted with fiery determination, and Linus gave me a troubled smile.
君が運動神経がいいことは知ってるよ。それでもつなごう。万が一ってこともあるんだから。
Yeah, I know you've got athletic abilities, but still, let's hold hands, okay? It's always better to be safe than sorry. Saying that, he took my hand without giving me any time to refuse. My heart skipped a beat and I began crafting excuses in my mind. I don't dislike it. I'm just lost because I'm not sure used to stuff like this. In fact, Linus's touch always brought me bliss. That said, I only had the heart to think about such things in the beginning. As we walked on, my heart sank with every step. That was where the bakery used to be. The house over there had a kind grandma. This is the house of Auntie Molly, who always said hello. Toby went everywhere laughing when I told jokes. He laughed all day.
アプローズ、大丈夫？
Apros, are you okay? Somewhere down the line, I tightened my grip on his hand. Linus called to me worriedly. Yeah. As I replied, I saw that we were approaching the place I have the most trouble with, but we're going to see it soon.
分かってる。
Yeah, I know.
覚えてるから。
I remember.
足元に気をつけて。
Watch your feet, one step at a time. Eventually, our feet stopped where my house used to be. It was the only place I had heartwarming memories of my family, and even though it was only one short time, this was also the place where I lived with Linus. I thought I might break down, but there's too little left of it to even cry over. I could no longer associate the mountain of rubble with the estate where I shared joy and laughter with my family. When I visited this place with John after that night, despair had overwhelmed me, but now there was only wistful loneliness. It's all in the past now, huh? The words came out by themselves. When I turned around, the landscape that had made me sentimental earlier now only looked like foreign ruins and meaningless rocks. More than ever, I felt the passing of time.
やっぱり俺を殺しておく。
Do you want to kill me off after all? It was a faint whisper, but I still caught it. I gazed at Linus. He was hanging his head, stifled anguish in his
俺が
expression.
君とここへ来たいと思ったのはね。君の気が変わって俺を許せないと感じたら、今度こそ復讐を果たしてもらおうと思ったからだよ。
I wanted to come here with you for a reason. If you changed your mind and think you can't forgive me, you can take your revenge
君に
now.
はその権利がある。あの日、君から全てを奪うきっかけを作った俺を、君だけは断罪してもいいんだ。
You have that right. I was the trigger that led to the tragedy that stole everything from you. You have every right to condemn me. Seriously, Linus, you still want me to kill you?
そうだね。俺は花になった恋人を持ち帰ったりしたくない騎士だから。
Yeah, I'm a knight who doesn't want to bring back my beloved as a flower. The day of the opera came rushing back to me. It had transformed into a nostalgic memory. Now that my mission was over, thinking about it, it had been fun. They say that time flows. I guess it's true. It overcomes and outruns all kinds of feelings, and in the end only leaves behind nostalgia. But I was only able to think this way now that I had someone with whom I wanted to move forward. Back then, you said that being condemned and stabbing people was stabbing. Oh gosh, being condemned and stabbed sound more liberating. But I don't want to do that anymore, so this is what I will do. I leaned forward toward him and stood on my tiptoes. In the split second before I closed my eyes, I saw the fair, faraway horizon begin glowing bright. Oh wow. No more bad dreams. They have gone away, Linus. I pressed my lips against his. Wave goodbye to the quiet moon, send a kiss to the bright sun soon. I felt like the spell I once cast on him had finally borne fruit. Even with my eyes closed, the dazzling light of the dawn streamed through my eyelids. The long, long night was ending at last. I pulled away and opened my eyes. There he was, my son, illuminated by the light of dawn. Linus smiled at me with tears in his eyes.
そっか。ようやく悪夢が終わるんだね。
I see. So the nightmares finally come to an end. You ended it for me. You came bringing dawn with you. No, the two of us came bringing dawn together. We ended our bad dreams hand in hand.
俺も一緒に。嬉しいな。君がそう言ってくれるなら。
Together,
そうだ
huh?
と思えるよ。
I'm happy to hear that. If that's what you say, that must be true. This time, Linus leaned in to press a gentle kiss to my lips. Feeling his tender warmth, my mind went to the people that I'd lost. I could never ask you to forgive me for taking his hand. I even think that I deserve your hate and resentment. Even then, will at least you understand me, Mother? I asked that question in my heart. It might have been just a wishful delusion, but I felt like the mother in my memories was nodding. I love you, Linus. My voice was thick with myriad emotions, I say a myriad? Okay. As I said it, lifting up a lock of my hair, Linus's eyes were soft and
俺
safe.
も大好きだよ。アプローズ。知ってる？俺は君のことをキラキラ輝く太陽みたいだって思ってたんだ。
I love you too, Apros. Do you know, I once thought that you're just like a glistening, shining sun. This is the first time I've heard about it. We exchanged smiles and yet another kiss, then I repeated my spell. No more bad dreams, they have gone away. Shortly dawn will come, lighting up the day. Wave goodbye to the quiet moon, send a kiss to the bright sun soon. I wanted to dedicate the last verse to this land. Huddled up to Linus, I ended the rhyme. My dear, my precious, I will bring dawn with me, so may you rest forever peaceful and carefree. Do not exit. Don't exit.
ずっと俺が見る悪夢に終わりはないと思ってた。どうしたって過去は変えられない。
Let's end like
大切だ
Virche.
と思った子を
I thought my
王ある
nightmare would
人た
never
ち
end. The past is set in
思い出し
stone.
思いやったんだって。
Nothing can erase the fact that
ま
I
た会え
led
た。
death to the ones
そし
most
て
precious
君
to
が
me.
俺を好きだと笑ってくれているなんて。
But we found each other again,
まるで
and you're smiling,
夢を見ているみたいだよ。
saying that you love me. It's like a dream.
どうかこの夢が決して覚めること
May
がな
I
いよう
never,
に
ever wake up from this dream.
一緒にいよう。
Let's stay together forever.
ミストニアの希望。ザ・ロスト・ディライト。
Treasure chest is loaded. New short story unlocked in Scrapbook. Well, that's good.
君の宝物か。
Movie.
俺の映像
Oh, I see. 2 of 9. Clown. Clown. Truth.
「令嬢らしい趣味」
誕 楽しいこと。
Okay, well, we'll do the story. Just in
可愛
case
らしい。
there could be a picture in it, right? There could be. I don't know, actually. Maybe not. We'll check. Because there's more than 9, so... And then we'll see what else. Okay. Let's see. Love makes people timid. During my journey with Apros, I learned about a new side of her. She's fast to become friends with people, with pretty much anyone. It's a bit surprising considering how she acted back at Bernstein Estate. But now that I think about it, when she met me, she was a girl who loved company. She became friends with me right away after all. Not that she overcame her bitter days. Maybe the girl she was inside was revealing herself. As I thought that, Apros came running towards me, her shining golden hair fluttering behind me. Linus, you were waiting outside. You could have gone on ahead of me. I thought about it, but if I waited outside, I'd see you as soon as you came back, so I decided to wait here. Not to mention, well, I like seeing you in the sunlight. Uprose's hair almost glowed under the sun. When she looked at me, looked as if she were light itself. It reminded me of the best days of my life. I like it too. I like how you wait for me like this, and I really like how you smile at me so brightly. Uprose's voice was quiet at the end, and she hung her head, her cheeks flashing a crimson well matched to the setting sun. I probably look the same right now. Her shyness was contagious. I felt heat gathering in my cheeks. I leaned down to look at her. If I wasn't blushing before, I was now. Maybe saying in the sunlight isn't accurate, since the sun's almost set. It might get cold fast. So how about we head in? Good point. Let's do that. Our embarrassment didn't alleviate, and we kept a good distance from one another. Okay. Oh. After we had dinner, we usually would have retired to separate rooms for the night, but today was different. You said you wanted to talk. She asked me to come to her room, so I followed without thinking much of it, but to be here like this, I'm getting nervous. The only place to sit in this cramped room was a chair or the bed, and she took the bed. Seeing her there, my body reacted on its own. It's nothing big. I just wanted to talk about what happened today. Okay, from what I remember, you went off to chat with a girl you've gotten to know here? Did something unusual happen? Our journey to the ward domain was especially demanding for Apros, since we had to sleep outside at times, so I made an effort to have us stop in towns to stay at inns whenever possible. This town was one of those stops, and today Apros had visited the house of a girl her age after they hit it off. Unusual? Kind of. It's more that I learned that you and I are unusual. Can I get your opinion on it? So we're technically lovers, aren't we? The girl I befriended today asked, so I said yes, but she said that it's weird that we don't kiss if we're lovers, and... Huh? What? Come again? I'm trying to say I'm wondering why you won't kiss me. Are you against kissing or something? Like just earlier, our eyes met, our faces were close, but you backed away. Do you dislike being close to me? No, I don't dislike it at all. It's just right now. Hold on. Wait, please. April leaned forward towards me again, and without thinking, I pushed her away. We're alone together in this small room at night. This isn't good for my heart. So you don't want to kiss me after all. That's not it. I do want to kiss you. I do. But the thing is, have you forgotten what I did to you? What did you do to me? I had the urge to look away out of awkwardness, but I wanted to atone for what I had done. I stared right into Aprose's eyes. Before we became lovers, I kissed you forcefully in a heartless way. That was the one who kissed you first, who did something heartless first, was me, no? Even if we share blame, I still think that as a man, my actions were reproachable. Oh, I totally missed what you said, Bass. Sorry. This happy ending seemed to arrive sort of smoothly and conveniently. Yeah, it felt very tactile. I'm gonna go with that one. It's also only 4 chapters long, which I thought was interesting, but it did have a pretty decent length for the common route, so maybe that kind of makes up for it. We'll see as we try to get the other endings. I've been thinking that if I kiss you, you might feel uncomfortable. I've been afraid it'll make you dislike me, so I'm scared. It's a kiss with a person I love. How could I ever dislike you because of that? Not to mention that we've kissed before in Eltbreak at dawn, if you remember. I know, but that kiss was, how do I put it? It was like we were sealing an oath. If I kiss you now, though, on our journey so far, no matter how close we got, I managed to keep myself in check. I felt I should have that same self-restraint now. But when I watched Apros grow despondent before my eyes, I gave up on an ambiguous evasion. What I'm trying to say is if I kiss you, I probably won't be able to stop. And it's night, and we're alone. How can I stop myself from doing more unless you're saying it's okay for me to take you as mine? Take me as... Wait, what? It's a terrible idea to let me into your room at night. Just standing here is making my heart go crazy. And to top it off, you brought me here to ask for a kiss? You aren't scared of me at all. Or are you ready to take that step? Wanting to test my obliviousness this time, I leaned forward. Ha! Ha ha! You're even redder than when we were outside. You honestly are so adorable. Crap. Thinking of her as cute right now is bad. I kind of want to pin her down like this. I could feel my heart racing faster. Still, I desperately clung to my rationality. I'm probably not ready for that step, but would it trouble you to give me just one kiss? No fair. That's so unfair, Apros. Instead of pinning her down, I dove onto the bed face down in a pout. Is it too much to ask after all? I finally lost my cool hearing that cute voice rolling over. I raised my hand above my head. Okay, if you insist, then could you kiss me? That way I won't touch you or make any moves on you. Thanks. Then I'll kiss you now. Apro stepped over nervously and peered into my face. Slowly, she leaned closer. I closed my eyes and soon felt her soft, warm lips brush against mine for a split second. Are you satisfied now? Just one more time. Even though her face was bright red, Apros gazed at me and pleaded. With pleading, heated eyes, she leaned down once more, her lips pressed against mine longer than the first time. Oh no, I'm a goner. Linus, you said you wouldn't touch me. Sorry, I'm going to hug you. I promise I won't do anything more than this. I exclaimed as I held my love tightly in my arms, but it was more to reason myself. I pulled away from her enough to look her in the eyes. I could feel her breath tickle my cheeks. I have a feeling that if I don't return to my room right now, I'll break that promise. To force myself to look away, I buried my face in Apro's shoulder one last time. La fin. So no CG in that. Okay. Sorry. It said what? Count your sins. Don't forget Eltbrook. Who killed Cock Robin? What? So like one for each of the guys? There's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I guess. Woo! You're on a 15 stream streak.
あれやめるのかいでは
Alright, let's see. Can I go to flowchart? I'm late. What did I miss? We got Linus's good ending. I think, at least. I mean, it certainly was. It felt like it was the good ending. Love triangle? Wait. Wait. Affection low. Okay. I'm just curious. I'm just curious. What does this mean? The clown. Okay, it is different ending. The clown. What do I think of him so far? He's fine. I don't love him. I don't love the way he acts. I didn't like that CG either, the CG we just saw, where they're like smiling at each other. Like, act like you're fighting, please. Just for a moment. Act like you're not friends. Could you? But overall, I mean, it's good. It went by, I think, swiftly enough. I don't feel like they lingered too far on anything. It definitely had the dynamic it needed. I just felt like they needed more emotion in their faces that looked more turbulent, I guess. For a moment, it felt like our quiet eye contact would last an eternity, but without warning, Linus made another move. He is fast. Ah! The next thing I knew, Linus's sharp claws slashed in front of my eyes. On reflex, I thrusted my knife and caught his full blow. The enemy trope was not well executed for me. It felt like it was too short. It's only 4 chapters. And he figured out who she was pretty early on into that. So, like, we're also trying to sell us that, like, you know, the Fae blood is in control a bit. So he's a little less in control of it. But, like, I don't know. She's got Fae blood, too. You got good reflexes, but you're leaving your flank completely defenseless. What? Linus swung his free hand, aiming for my neck, though I managed to dodge at first. Ooh, I'm bleeding. I took a direct hit on my upper arm. The claw ripped the fabric of my dress, and a dull pain shot through my bicep. It's not my dominant arm, but the wound isn't shallow. I was barely managing to put back the claw that I'd caught with my knife. I jumped away. Each movement I made, I felt warmth trickle down my arm, but I didn't have time to tend to it before the next attack came my way. The pain is distracting. I've got to focus. I managed to catch the next swing of his claws, but due to my injury, I couldn't muster all my strength. I staggered, not having a chance to find my footing again. Claws swept down and tore into my arm again. Bro. The intense pain nearly overwhelmed my senses, but Linus' fiercely glinting eyes didn't allow me to look away. If you want to kill me, you need to take this more seriously, Apros. He shouted fiercely before closing in again. At this rate, the next strike will take me out. My back against the wall, I used my ace. As I focused on returning to my original form as a demi-fae, power welled up in my body. I saw that my hair returned to its original gold, confirming that I had returned to my real appearance. Watching me transform before his eyes in seconds, even Linus was surprised enough to pause. This is the first time seeing your wings. Ugh. You make it sound as if you've been going easy on me. Who knows? He said the same thing last time. I didn't feel like reading it again. I regretted not using my original form from the beginning. Not doing so had been a mistake. I'll make up for my bad start from here. It's not like my injuries will stop hurting, but I've still got my Fae sight hand. The next time his claws closed in on me, I braced myself to take the hit while I activated my Fae sight. That was a plan, but... Anyways, I'm happy that you're finally taking this seriously. I won't hold back now. See, like, look at that. Should be smiling saying that. I braced myself for his claws, but Linus fainted and leapt into the air. Catching me off guard, he instead drove a sharp kick into my body from above. The force from his kick blasted me several meters away. I slammed against the ground. I had to stand up. I thought that to myself, but pain assaulted me from head to toe. I couldn't move and I gasped for air. If I can just use my Fae sight. No matter how much training you've undergone, there's a discrepancy between your innate abilities. Being able to put up a fight only did you harm. Linus slowly walked to me as I lay collapsed on the ground. I fixed my gaze on him. No matter what his next attack was, I had to receive it with my bare hands. I tossed away my knife and crossed my arms to shield my body. My mind was set. I would activate my face sight the moment he struck. Here he comes. I braced myself for the brunt of his attack, but the moment never came to pass. You think I'll let you? Oh dear. My man, he's bleeding all over the place and his wings are exposed. John, the one who caught the blow wasn't me but John. John looked as worse for wear as I. Nevertheless, he shielded me from Linus. His claws, he'd clawed through a tough battle with House Ward before coming here for me.
お前は誰だ？これは俺とアプローズの戦いだ。誰にも
You, who are you?
させない。
This is between me and Apros. I won't let anyone interfere. John had met Linus's claws with his knife, but Linus pushed forward with brute force, shouting. John pushed back resolutely. Think I'll just step aside? That was a good voice. He was gonna get good. I totally hit the button too soon. I'm happy about that John came to rescue me. I know I should be grateful, but John, I can still fight. I was this close to reaching Linus. I've managed to kill him with that. I'll finish him with my face sight hand.
そんなに傷だらけなのに何言ってるんだ。これ以上戦うのは無茶だ。
My lady, you're hurt all over. What are you even saying? It'd be reckless to fight any longer. John was right and I knew it, but I couldn't give up, not for anything. If killing the queen isn't possible, then I'll at least kill Linus with my own hands, even if the price is my death. That's what we agreed on after all, right, Linus? My own goal was to exact revenge, yet before I knew it, I was considering my battle with Linus as its own precious promise. Such thoughts were wrong. I knew it rationally, but I couldn't stop myself from staring into Linus's eyes from behind John's back. Linus was no different. Though his claws were aimed at John, his eyes were fixed on me.
そうだよ、アプローズ。俺を殺すのは君だろ。そうしたら俺も君にとどめを刺すんだ。
A death pact. Nice. That's right, Apros. You're the one who's going to kill me, aren't you? And I'll deliver the final blow to you.
さっきそう約束したはずだ。俺はだからこそ。
We agreed. That's why I chose to fight you like this. I feel the same way. If I have to die anyways, I want to die by your hands, and I must be the one to kill you. It can't be anyone else. That's been our destiny since that day. Linus pleaded to me. And I yelled out my sincere feelings. We're talking about murder, but my heart is fluttering. I want to realize our wish at all costs.
戦おう。アプローズ。俺と二人きりで。
Let's fight, just the two of us. Yes! Oh gosh. Hearing my answer, Linus tried to extend his free hand towards me. In that instant, his attention veered from John.
そんなことはさせない。お前にお嬢は渡さない。
I won't let you do this. I won't hand over my lady to you. Not my lady. Not letting his opening slip away, John shoved into Linus with everything he had. John, After forcing Linus to back off, John lifted me into his arms, turned, and ran. Please go back. I still have to achieve everything. I need my revenge. I haven't finished anything. Why announce it? Just be sneaky? Because they can't be sneaky. She's a terrible spy. Go back, John, please. I cried and wailed, begging him to take me back, but John never stopped. He just kept going. And for some reason, Linus didn't chase us. In John's arms, I'd left the exhibition venue behind. Now I hid in a room downstairs, recuperating from my wounds. I didn't know how many days had passed. I'd given up on counting them and was meaninglessly wasting away on this bed. Oh, girl, look at them eyes. What in the world am I doing? I muttered softly. John, who had been reading a newspaper by my side, whipped his head up.
お嬢、起きてたのか。何か欲しいものはあるか。お腹が空いたならすぐに食事を。
Milady, I didn't realize you're awake. Is there anything you want? If you're hungry, I can arrange a meal, right? I don't need food. I don't need anything. I mumbled lethargically. John's face fell.
少しは食べなきゃダメだ。 食べないと怪我も良くならないぞ。
You've got to eat a little bit at least. If you don't eat, your wounds won't heal. So what if they don't? I failed. John told me the aftermath or lack thereof. Though the exhibition was temporarily suspended thanks to the 5 houses, the events resumed and concluded without further ado. The Twilight Ravens weren't caught, at least by the Queen's reign, continued as if nothing had happened. In other words, nothing changed. The only thing of note is that a single maid disappeared from the Bernstein estate, and that maid's identity was already been discovered. Even if I made another attempt, House Ward would welcome me in full force. Perhaps it was also only a matter of time before they discovered this hideout. Coming in. Gonriel walked in without knocking. The moment she saw my face, she let out a long sigh.
相変わらずひどい顔色だね。ちょっとはマシになったかと期待したんだけど。
Your complexion still looks awful. I'd gotten my hopes up that you felt better.
どうやら私の見込み違いだったみたいだね。あんたたちならうまくやるんじゃないかと思ったのに。
It looked like I'd put my faith in the wrong people. I was convinced that you two would pull it off somehow, but look at you now.
期待に添えなくて悪かったな。で、ただ冷やかしに来たわけじゃないんだろ。何か情報があるのか？
Sorry for not living up to your expectations. I'm sure you didn't just come here to make fun of us. Do you have info? John snipped at her and she stared back with frosty eyes. Gonriel glanced at me again before she spoke up.
情報なんて今のあんたたちに何の意味があるんだい？残念だけど今日は様子を見に来ただけだよ。
Does information even mean anything to you two in your stay? Sadly for you, I only came over today to check up on one
そし
thing.
てもう来ないかもね。お嬢ちゃんがその状態じゃジョン坊やにとっても私は用なしだろう。
I think it may never come back with her like that. I'm useless to you too, aren't I, John boy?
それは。
Gonriel's right. If we ain't going to take any other action, there's no point in continuing this partnership. John made no rebuttal, and seeing that I wasn't saying anything either, Gonriel turned away.
もう行くよ。邪魔したね。ああ、そうそう。ここもいつまでも安全ってわけじゃないだろうから、早いとこ出ていきな。
I'm leaving. Sorry for the intrusion, and this place isn't gonna stay safe forever, so you better leave
行く
quickly.
当てがあるならの話だけどね。
If you've got a place to go, that is. Giving us only those final words, Gonriel left us. It was just John still standing there silently and me laying in bed like a zombie. If we're fated to be discovered and caught anyways, maybe I should try to take the Queen's life again after all, knowing I have no hope. I don't know why, but after I failed to defeat Linus, I feel like something snapped inside of me. Nightmares had begun haunting me every time I closed my eyes. Help. I don't want to die. I don't want to die. I don't remember this. I never saw this. Back then, my mother had helped me escape. I was deep in the forest before I understood what was going on. I had no memory of my own of what actually happened that night, but the tragic scene in my dreams were vivid and realistic. Why did it have to come to this? It's my fault. It's all my fault.
アプローズ。お前のせいじゃないよ。でも、私たちの願いを聞いてくれ。
My brother has such a deep voice. Apros, it's not your fault, but I ask that you listen to our wish. Please make them pay for what they've done to us. Avenge us. Kill the queen, Apros. No, father, mother, Riley would never say this to me. My revenge is mine alone. This is a dream. I've got to be dreaming.
お嬢、もしかして最近よく眠れてないんじゃないのか？
My lady, have you been struggling to sleep lately? You've been crying in the middle of the night, haven't you? It was rough 1 week after the nightmares began that John broached the topic with concern. By then, I'd already started believing that nightmares were the events that really happened. Everyone wanted me to avenge them, but I abandoned my attempt midway. I need to apologize to them. I've got to go to them. I never answered John's question. Only that murky, dark desire festered within me. And then a few nights later, I acted on that desire. I snuck out of the hideout behind John's back and came to my hometown village all alone. Frankly, I barely remember how I managed to get all the way here. Etbeek was a great distance from Rowan, but I persisted, spurred on by my obsession, and ended up in the rubble before I knew it. Nothing changed since back then. No, it's wasted away even more. Exposed to the elements, the ruins had transformed into a desolate place, and you couldn't tell that people had once lived here. It's completely different from the scene in my dreams, but everyone's resentment and grief must still linger here. Convinced by groundless thoughts, I wandered the fire-wrecked ghost town that was once my home. Everyone, I'm sorry. It's all my fault. I'm sorry. I'm sorry I couldn't avenge you. Even though I spoke to them, no one would reply. That was what I thought,
誰
but
に話しかけてるんだ
who are you talking to, Apros? Linus! My eyes go dead. This man I thought I'd lost looked lifeless. His amber eyes neither shone with kindness or ferocity. It's not just because it's nighttime. I stared back at him in a daze. Linus spoke again, his face burdened with sorrow.
どうして姿を現したんだそれもここへやってくるなんてどうしてここなんだ
Why did you reveal yourself? You even had to come to this place. Why did you have to come here of all places? Why? I'm here to apologize to everyone. I had to avenge the wrong done to them, but I
そ
failed.
れは
You. I didn't take my eyes off Linus as I replied. Then a certain thought flitted across my mind. I wasn't able to kill the queen, but would everyone be happy if I killed Linus here? I understood that Linus hadn't leaked our location on purpose back then. Still, he lit the spark. He was why everyone was gone. If I could at least kill Linus, the idea ate away at me like sweet poison. I allowed the poison to take over, and I was steadily close the distance between us, but that was when Linus cried out in grief.
あんな風に別れたのならそのまま逃げ切ってほしかったこんなところで再会したら俺はもう
If we had to depart like that, I wanted you to escape and get away to safety for good, but you've reunited in a place like this, and
君を捕まえるしかない
and
じゃ
I've
ない
got
か
no choice other than to catch you. What? Linus's voice turned out to be a signal. Dozens of men rushed out of the shadows, all of them members of the
この
house
娘を
ward.
陛下のところへ連れて行けばよろしいのです
Shall
か
we lead the girl to her majesty?
ああ陛下はそれを望んでいらっ
Yes,
し
that's
ゃ
the
る
queen's will. Linus replied somberly. The last bit of hope that kept me going was abruptly snuffed out. I see, so you decided to dedicate yourself to the duty as a Q-Sith.
そうだよ初めから迷うことなくそうすればよかったと今では思ってる
That's right. Now I think I should have done this from the very beginning. I never should have faltered.
再会して君の正体を疑った時点で君は
The moment I
Hey,
doubted your
fantastic.
identity, I should have handed you over to the queen. Linus's voice was anguished. She didn't move, instead commanding two subordinates to seize me, but that was a mistake.
嫌におとなしいな抵抗しないのか
She's strangely cooperative. She's not going to
その
resist.
方がいいだろう
It's probably for the
どうした
best. What's wrong? The men released me at the same time to grab at their heads. The next moment, they stared at each other in horror.
ああ化け物め
There's a monster.
ああ夜な化け物
The Covenant Closer monster.
何をよせ
What are you doing? Stop at once. Linus's attempt to detain them was futile. The men let out deranged screams, raised their claws, and started killing each
おい
other.
何をしてる
What are you
バカな
doing?
真似はやめろ
Don't do anything stupid. Others approached, trying to stop the pair, while I fervently reached out my right hand to activate my second ability again, my face sight power to cast illusions. Night! One after another, the Ward family attacked each other. No one paid me any more attention, even those trying to stop their berserk kin sustained injuries. Within the pandemonium, it was downright effortless to use my face on every last one of them.
こんなにたくさんの化け物が全部倒さなければ
This is cold, yeah. This is true revenge. There's so many monsters around, I've got to defeat them. I've got to kill
お
them.
前こそ死ね
You're the one who's gonna die. For some reason I can't explain, when I watch them kill each other, I feel peace. I was the sole spectator of this tragedy. Something like joy welled up inside me, and was then when a shaky voice reached my
アプロ
ears.
ーズこれは君がやったのか
Apros, are you doing this? Linus, I haven't used my powers on you yet. I smiled and his eyes opened wide. Was it he shocked, horrified? I don't know why, but I feel like I can use my face sight even without touching my target now. Unadulterated amusement dominated my heart. Still smiling, I held out my hand to Linus. But just with that motion, he began trembling. Can you see the monsters now too? Yes, everyone here other than me and you is an enemy.
化け物敵違うそんなんじゃないここにいるのは俺の大切な一族で
Monster, enemy. No, they aren't. The people here are my precious family, and you're quite stubborn to refuse to yield this long. Perhaps that's only expected of the next ward head, but escape is futile. Shaking his head, Linus desperately tried to resist. I directed my face sight at him again. Charge forward, join the banquet of blood. Tears flowed down his cheeks as he continued resisting. It was so very boring to watch. What I wanted to see was something fun. What's the sensation that I've been having? I know. I recalled the queen's eyes filled with madness that I had seen once. Her cruelty had been paired with the most bemused smile. You know, I can understand that woman now. I was elated to realize this, the men swinging their claws at their brethren with a humorous spectacle. I knew that if the queen were here, she would be laughing with me.
敵だなんて思えたくない
No, I don't want to think of them as my enemies, no. Linus's mind still fought back, but his body had succumbed to the illusion. His feet carried him to the bloodbath. That's right, head over, join them, and give them a great show. Amuse me more and more.
分かった殺される前に俺も
Yes,
あの化け物ども
before they kill me, I'll kill those monsters. At last, he could no longer defy my illusion. At last, I recognized the emotion in his eyes. As he looked at me was fear. Reenactment of the scene that played in my nightmares unfolded before my eyes. But this time, what flowed wasn't the blood of House Randolph. This time, it was the blood of House Ward. Ward, who sparked the fire that destroyed the village. Ward, who went around killing everyone. Now they kill each other in the very place they cursed. What comedy. I weaved my words in the light and merry voice, almost singing. John's voice echoed in my mind in an instant.
力を使うたびにお嬢の性質がピュアに近づくとも要塞王から言わ
Oh
れ
yeah, you might become a fae. Like a full fae. He did mention something like that, didn't he? But as I watched Linus hunt down his family more nimbly than anyone else dancing a dance of death, I felt this irresistible thrill. I never knew becoming a pure fae felt so nice. I thought to myself that I wouldn't mind living as one forever if it meant I could stay within this sweet slumber. I'm very happy right now, John. I want to watch this scene until the end of time. Immersed in a new, never-ending dream, I stood by myself smiling forever and ever. Well, she's happy. She's delighted. Look at this. This is her ending. Just saying, it's her ending. She gets it. Oh my goodness.
どうしてこうなってしまったんだろ
The fair sadist?
うどこで間違え
Kind
たの
of.
君
How
が
did it
裏切
come
っ
to
た
this?
時
Where did I
こう
go
なると
wrong?
決まっ
Has
てい
this
た
been
の
my fate since the moment I betrayed you?
あ
I can't see anything anymore. I'm just swinging around my bloodstained hands. Now I truly am
血
nothing
に
but a
触れた
dog.
手を振り回して
Poor boy. So, there was a
今
scene
の俺は
earlier
本当の犬だな
when we met the queen, and she literally was like, "Oh, thank you for bringing this girl to me." Need any more servants? They're basically mindless drones and do whatever I tell them to,
ザ・
lol.
ロスト・ディライト
So, kinda. They're kinda sadist.
大切なも楽しいこと
We still have 2 photos to unlock in his. That was one other ending, so I'm assuming... Let's see. Does the flowchart actually show me anything of use?
あれやめるのかい？
The love triangle? Would it be high high? Maybe.
お嬢の好き
I thought the love triangle was earlier on, like up here. Let's see. Let's test this one.
ちょっ
Did I go too far? Was that not even his? I met with Nicholas about the Five Houses conference, then headed back to my room. On the way, I encountered one of the few people to whom I could show my true self. It seemed they had seen me too. He grinned and sauntered over.
やらかしましたね、エド様。可愛い子には旦那様の目の届かないところで声をかけるくらいの知恵がないとダメですよ。
You screwed up, Lord Ed. You should know better. Gotta stay out of his lordship's sight if you want to hit on pretty girls.
変な言い方はやめてくれただ新しく来た子に歓迎の意を示そうとしただけだよ
Don't make it weird. I just want her new hire to feel welcomed. I sent Phil, a glare as he teased me. Still, I was curious no matter how awkward speaking about her might have been.
それにしてもこの屋敷に新しい使用人が来るのは珍しいねニックのお眼鏡にかなうなんてすごいじゃないか
A new servant in the mansion is quite unusual. I'm surprised Nick gave his seal of approval.
ですね。
Just making sure. That's weird. Does this just go into a side adventure? I don't even know. But yeah, we're on the... It's okay. It's fine. It's fine. It's a flowchart. I want all of
紹
them.
介者のミセス・ベルデが太鼓判をしたって言うんで会ってみたら、実際の仕事ぶりもやばかったらしいっすよ。
Exactly. Mrs. Verde highly recommended her, and when I finally met her, I had to admit that she actually was really good at her job.
そうかなり優秀なんだな
So she's quite a capable employee then.
どれほど優秀かは、ご自分の目で確かめてみたらいいんじゃないですか。名目なんていくらでもつけられるでしょ。
Why don't you see how wonderful she is for yourself? You can make up an excuse as to why you need her help.
普通に仕事があればお願いするよ
If I have anything that needs to be done, I suppose I could ask her. I sighed, trying to end the conversation. Phil must not have had anything more to talk about as he simply wandered off.
フィルの言うことも少しは当たっているのかもしれない
Now that I think about it, maybe Phil's partially right. For some reason, I had the strangest feeling of deja vu when I'd first seen the new servant. Phil hadn't exactly been wrong when he had teased me about being interested in her. Could I have met her somewhere before? Maybe she looks similar to someone I knew.
というかそもそもまだ名前すら聞けていないんだ
I'm drawing a blank. I don't even know what her name is. I need to find out her name first. I decided as I stood in front of my room. It just continues,
それ
right?
じゃあ
It's just like a side step in the flowchart. Weird. That was weird that was locked. Oh, wait. Am I crazy? Oh no, I'm not crazy. Sometimes red outlines mean it's art you haven't seen yet, so that's kind of rude. It's such a straight line. This is not how flowcharts work, guys. Nope, love triangle high. It's just a straight shot. That's not a flow. It's not flowing. Hydrate. Oh no. I don't know if I've done the right thing. I'll head back with Lord Edward even if I chose to stay. I highly doubt you'd even believe me, which I think I
や
did
はり
get.
ここには置いておけない。ライナ、君が何と言おうと、私は彼女を連れ帰るよ。
Just like I thought, I can't leave you here, Lynn. No matter what you say, I'm bringing her back with me.
わかったよ。
Fine, I get it.
好きにしたらいいさ。
Do what you want. As I deduced, Linus must have predicted this outcome because he didn't continue the fight. The mood shifted, Linus' statement settled, the two didn't exchange any further words, and turned their back on each other. Somehow skipped that still. How do I get there? I feel like over there is what's locked. You know what? It's fine. It's fine. We'll stay on this for a second. When do you mean, weirdo? When was this tag you're referring to? That there were two memories that fit the tag at the Ward townhouse and the tag we'd played as children, but if he was trying to bring up the latter memories in a place like this, is he saying that he wants to expose my identity right here, right now? My entire body tense, seeing that Linus had a troubled smile.
だよ。君は俺との鬼ごっこが楽しかった？
Doesn't matter when it was. Did you have fun when you played tag with me? Doesn't look like he wants to arrest me, but he must be confident about who I am. Though he likely knew exactly who I was, Linus had asked that without a shed of gravity. The tension eased from my shoulders. Yes, I had a lot of fun. And he gave me a knife. Okay. Okay, we'll do high. We'll do high, love triangle, high, other thing, and see what that does. We're still missing one random one, though. You're gonna be just fine. You're going to be okay. Sure, you killed all your friends, but they killed all of her family, so... When you think about it, it's fair. Oh, this is like there's only two ways this can go, period, right there. So that's kind of weird, right? An eye for an eye, that's right. We're all about fairness and equality up in here.
俺も君のことを捕まえ。
Yeah, the triangle being high changed absolutely nothing here. What? Okay, well, I guess I can cheat now.
Mistoniaの希望 The Lost Diary.
Unless it's story-based. Like maybe, I don't know. What was the point of having a triangle? What's the point of the triangle?
可愛らしい。
She makes people timid. Bush fort. She lost everything. I'm not gonna read it. I'm gonna fast forward through it. Just to see. They didn't talk in the last one. Before she lost everything. Because there's no talking in this, and that feels like a cheat. Something about capitals and people and things. Like, if he's not talking and there's no animation, is this even real? Finn. Okay. Gave me nothing. Nothing.
俺の映像。君がいいならだけど。
It might be something I can't flowchart my way to. LOL. So bright. That was so bright. Were you blinded? Because I was. Wait, I've somehow found the wrong thing. I'm not on the right thing. Oh no. Linus, okay. Flashbang, we didn't see much. Oh, really? Okay. It gets really, like, when my computer first loads, it's very bright. Alright, the dawn ending. Was the ending we had. That's the good end. The cloud ending. Oh, okay. Okay, it says load. I can't tell if this is telling me that I shouldn't find all the shards. Did I mess up finding all the shards? Oh my god, what? Okay, we're gonna go to Linus Chapter something. Let's see. Just gonna do the choices it says to make here, even if I'm already pretty sure I've done it. We're just gonna see. We're just gonna see. Oh, was that it? My bad. You jerks. You jerks. Okay. I was wondering whether I should do something to tempt him, but I had a feeling that my lack of experience would lead to our failure. In that case, how about I show I trust him and I'm relaxed around him? I feel like this kind of method is more effective on Linus. Evaluating all of our interactions until now, I decided to lightly tug on his arm. Lord Linus, is it alright if we continue exploring around here for a
も
while?
ちろんいいけど、何か気になることでもあった？
Of course, but did something catch your eye? It's more that it's my first time watching an opera, so everything is novel to me.
でもここはまだ入り口だよ。見るなら客席の方がいいんじゃないかな。
Really, but this is still just the entrance. If you want to explore the opera house, the audience area might be better. You instructed me to have fun, Lord Linus. That's why I thought to enjoy my time here to my heart's content, but as you wish. I deliberately looked away from Linus after he exclaimed, muttering in a sulky tone. A merry, amused voice rained down from above me.
確かに言った。
I did say that.
じ
Okay,
ゃあ俺が案内するよ。
I'll give you a tour. Wow, look at that. Look over there. It seems that my judgment was correct. Linus joyfully escorted me around, giving me
で
a
はお嬢
tour.
様、こちらがオペラハウスの柱になります。なかなか凝った細工が施されていますよ。
Well then, my lady, what you see before you is an esteemed pillar of this opera house. The workmanship invested in it is exquisite. I can tell the same craft has been applied to the ceiling. Is there any special meaning?
意味があるかはわかりませんが、きっと同じ細工師の手によるものでしょうね。
I'm not sure whether it means anything, but it must be the work of the same craftsman, or at least that's what I would assume. I
今度はこ
see.
ちらの銅像をご覧になりますか？もっと近くに寄られても構いませんよ。
Shall we marvel at the bronze statue situated over here? Feel free to approach, my lady. Excuse me, my lord.
なになに？
What is it? Could you stop talking in that manner? You're teasing me, aren't you? I acted miffed, but the only made Linus smile wider.
ごめん。面白がるっていうか楽しくて。俺も羽目を外したい気持ちになったんだ。
I wouldn't say I'm teasing. I'm having fun. Your enthusiasm spreads to me.
もちろん気は抜けないけど、君とこんな風に過ごす時間は貴重だから。
I can't let my guard down, but the time I get to spend with you is precious. So I get a bit, no, quite giddy. Saying that, Linus gazed at me, and I saw the same passion in his eyes as yesterday. When he looks at me like that, I feel so restless, but that means everything must be going according to plan. Perhaps his affection for me was rising little by little, just as I thought that whispers of gorgeously dressed girls reached my ears. It's Lord Linus. Who was beside her? It's the first time seeing seeing Lord Linus look at a lady like that. The remarks seem to be an evidence of my success. At the very least, I managed to draw out new expressions from my companion. There's nothing wrong with being giddy, but please revise the way you speak, otherwise I won't talk to you anymore today.
それは困る。普通に話すから機嫌を直してくれる？
What horror! I'll speak to you like normal, so please forgive me and be happy again. He looked dejected like a reprimanded puppy, and a grin unwittingly crept upon my lips. Yes, I'll be happy, as long as you give me a thorough tour after this as well.
もちろんいいよ。それな
Of
ら
course I
次は
can.
客席の方にも行ってみよ
Okay,
うか。
do you want to head over to the audience seat now? Yes. Alright, we're gonna load that back up because that was for a different CG, and I was like, oh, CG. You trouble me so. Okay, so then lean into that guy. This is where we're going to do something different and follow Edward. It's better to not deviate too much from my duty as a maid. I've attracted enough of Linus's interest today. Thank you very much for your kindness, Lord Linus, but I shall travel with Lord Edward back to the Bernstein estate. I wanted to finish that sentence, but Linus interrupted.
お礼なんて言わないで。俺の意地。というか、信念を貫きたいだけだから。
You don't need to thank me. This is just my pride speaking, or more like my
エ
values.
ドワード卿、君たちは街中の警備が担当だと言ったよね。なら仕事はまだ終わっていないはずだ。
Lord Edward, you proclaim that you and the others are responsible for maintaining order, yes? If so, I believe your work isn't
で
done.
も俺は陛下の護衛の役目を果たした。
But I fulfilled my role as Her Majesty's
だから
guard.
彼女を今すぐ雨の中から馬車へ移動させるなら、俺の方
Therefore,
が
if you
不安のは
wish
ずだ
for
よ。
her to find shelter from the rain, my carriage is more suitable.
そうかもしれないね。
Perhaps yes. Edwards expressed agreement, but he didn't look all that convinced.
俺に挽回のチャンスをくれないか。結局。
Thought so. Bum 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 bum. That's my question. Crazy. Crazy we had the same thought, lol. Okay. Do you often sleep poorly, lol? Just me going lol all the time. Okay, so this is where I'll say I'll return with Edward. I'll head back with Lord Edward. The Astray! We did it. Okay. Thanks, Atome Kitten. I think it had to be like evenly matched in the status or something. Oh no, that's 4 and 2. I have no clue actually. I've no idea how it determines it, but hey. By the time Edward brought me back to the Bernstein estate, it was still only a little past dawn. The vicinity was hushed and silent. I doubt anyone's awake at this ungodly hour. I was told the official story was I stayed the night elsewhere for Edward's errand. I was relieved to return before my daily work began. Lord Edward, I can't thank you enough for coming to fetch me. I shall prepare to work right away so that no one will be disrupted.
その心がけは立派だけれど、あまり無理をしないでほしい。君にとって大変な一日だったのだから。
Your work ethic is admirable. Please don't strain yourself. The past 24 hours must have been exhausting for you.
私からニックへ事情を説明して、休みにしてもらうこともできる。今日はゆっくりしたらどうかな。
I can explain things to Nick and ask him to give you the day off. How about you spend today at your own pace? No, that would be awfully indulgent of me. I felt more emotional fatigue than physical, so I wanted to merely focus on work. If my mind became idle, I'd think about that man.
でもおそらくだから俺は
I could never tell Edward what happened. Plus, now that I had seen Edward fight so hard for me earlier, I was adverse to presume upon his kindness. Further, maybe I should be firmer with my rejection. Feeling put on the spot by his steady gaze, I was just about to respond when Edward took the initiative to talk, albeit faltering.
ごめん。ゆっくりしたらと言ったけれど、本当は私がもう少し君と話したいと思っているんだ。
Sorry I suggested you rest today, but
少し
truthfully,
だけ時間をくれないかな。
I want to talk to you for a little bit longer. Could you please give me your time?
今の君の正直な気持ちを聞きたいから。
I wish to hear your honest
そうだな。
feelings, so
私の部屋へ行こうか。
shall we head to my room? Oh, yes, all right. He wanted to ask me something, likely questions I didn't want to be asked. Still, I owed him for rescuing me from my plight, and considering my current situation, it would be challenging to turn him down. Edward invited me into his room. He left the door ajar, then he beckoned me over to the windows across the room from the door.
盗み聞きの心配をしているわけではないのだけれど、それでもこの方が君も話しやすいだろう。
His room has got so much drapery in it. It's not that I'm worried someone will listen in on us, but the privacy makes it easier for us to speak your mind, right? Thank you for your thoughtfulness. He ushered me to sit down, and so I quietly settled in a chair facing him. My anxiety rose, my entire body taut, possibly to give me some polite space. Edward looked away out the window as he asked his question.
実はずっと君に聞きたかったんだ。本当のところ、ライナと君はどういう関係なのかって。
To tell you the truth, I've been meaning to ask you this question for a long time. What is your actual relationship with Line?
ライナは君が陛下に立てつく不穏分子と関わっているのではないかと疑っていた。
Line was suspicious that you might be related to the threat against the Queen. That's why he arrested you, isn't he?
私もバカじゃない。二人の間に
But
それ
I'm
だ
not
け
a
ではない
fool.
何かがあるのは
I
わ
can
か
tell
る。
that there's something between you two more than that. At this point, Edward glanced briefly in my direction.
私は君を守りたい。そのためには君たちの間に何があったのか。
I want to
正しく
protect you,
知
and
って
to
おきた
do
いんだ。
that, I would like to know precisely what happened between you
君
two.
が何に悩んでいるのか、私に話してはくれないかな。
If you don't mind, could you please tell me what is troubling you? I had to say something to evade this questioning. I knew that, but I struggled to find words. If this were any other day, I could come up with an excuse in a snap, but I'm not. I'm still shaken from what happened last night. I didn't know what Edward thought of my silence as he turned to face me directly. Then a soft smile bloomed on his face.
君が話しづらいと思っているのなら、先にいや、俺の話をしてもいいかな。本音をこぼしたいのは、本当は俺の方なんだ。
If it's a difficult topic for you, may I say what's on my mind first? Not as a Bernstein, just as me. Honestly, I wanted a listener to confide in about my feelings. About your feelings. Edward suddenly spoke more casually and personally, startled. I blinked back at him, seeing that he gently touched my shoulder.
こんなことを言っても信じてはもらえないかもしれないけれど、俺は君が この家の使用人だから助けに行ったわけじゃな
I
い。
know you might have trouble believing me, but I didn't go to save you just because you're a servant of my
君
household.
がライナに連れ去られたと聞いて、いても立ってもいられなくなったんだ。
When I heard that Lynn had
だから
taken you
ここに
away,
い
I
た。
simply couldn't take that lying down. I had to find you. Wait, is he saying Edward's words were like a bolt from the blue? I had a gut instinct about the implications of his words, but surely this man wouldn't say something like that, right?
つまりね、君をライナに取られたくなかったんだよ。君とライナの間に何があったのか知りたいと思うの
To be
も
blunt, I didn't want Lynn to snatch you away from me. The real reason I wanted to know what happened is nothing but plain jealousy.
バーンスタイン家の次期当主として
Ooh,
ではなく、
Bernstein Bears.
一人の男として君のことを知りたいんだ。
I want to know more about you, not as the next head of the House Bernstein, but as a simple man. You want to know more about me? Did he just confess to me? Is he jealous? Is his jealousy the type I'm thinking about? If this had been a day ago, I had been plotting to use his feelings for my own gain, but now to think of romantic love, only Linus's face flashed in my mind. I thought about 8 years ago, my faithful encounter with Linus, about how maze-like our relationship became to navigate, about how I, after learning that he didn't betray us and is willing to give his life to me, my hatred withered away. And I can't deny there's an emotion bundled in my heart stronger than hate, but I mustn't nurture that one. As I thought, what came out weren't words, but tears sliding down my cheeks. I never meant to cry, but when Edward was gazing at me with those kind, concerned eyes, the tears kept coming. I couldn't stop them.
ごめん。急にこんなことを言われても、君は困るだろうと分かっていたんだ。
I'm sorry, I knew that saying something like this out of the blue would distress
で
you.
ももう俺は自分の気持ちに嘘をつくことはできない。
I can't lie to my own heart anymore. I like Rose. Edward was an earnest man who would feel responsible for my tears. That sincerity was suffocating me right now. There wasn't even a hint of a shadow in his eyes, hammering home the fact that I could never lie to someone like him. I'm not that kind of girl that you think I am, Lord Edward. By all rights, I'm someone who deserves to be driven out from this place.
真面目な君がそこまで言うなら、よほどの事情があるのだと思うけれど。
If a responsible person like you is saying that, there must be a very complicated circumstance. May I ask why? There was no compulsion in Edward's tone. He was only gently prompting me. Even so, rationally held me back. Rationality? That's a real thing. Preventing me from saying anything definite. I need to keep a hold on my status as a maid of the Bernstein estate. If my identity is exposed, I won't be able to take my revenge. I maintained my silence. Edward still treated me with the utmost kindness.
わかった。この話はもうおしまいにしよう。今はただ、俺が君を好きで、何があっても
Let's end this topic here. For now, I only hope you'll keep in mind that I like you. No matter what, I'm on your
だ
side.
からまた、時々こういう時間をくれないかな。君の事情を聞くのではなく、気安く話をする友人としての時間を持ちたいんだ。
Could you make some private time for me occasionally like this? I don't plan to pry. I just want to talk casually sometimes as friends. He's compassionate enough to not dismiss my circumstances. How can I reject him after everything he said and done? I understand. If that is your wish, Lord Edward, I want to meet your request.
ありがとう、ローズ。
Thanks, Rose. He sighed with relief, still gazing at me with tender eyes. The warmth of them only made me feel more anguished. Dun, dun, dun. A few hours later, Edward found himself facing a visitor, Alfred.
報告
It's the same. I'm checking things out for the next chapter of this one. Oh, it goes longer. Wait. See, this is why I want to be just able to scroll up a little bit. Interesting. So I thought there was only 2 over here, but now there's like 3, 4.
これくらいか。合計会議の開催日でもないのに押しかけて悪かったな。
That should be all for my report. My apologies for coming here uninvited when it's not a conference day.
もう博覧会まで日がありませんから、打ち合わせができてよかったです。また何かあれば遠慮なく来てください。
Please don't apologize. We don't have much time until the exhibition. I'm glad we were able to discuss this in advance. If anything else comes up, don't hesitate to call me again.
我々のこの働きがグランドアルビオンのためになるなら、私は努力を惜しまないつもりですから。
After all, if our current endeavor are for the greater good of Grand Albion, I fully intend to invest every effort possible.
なんだ、珍しく引っかかる言い方だな。国政に不満でもあるのか？
Your wording's curious. Are you dissatisfied with our current government?
いえ、
No, not
そう
quite.
いうわけでは。
別に陛下へ告げ口などしない。聞くだけなら聞いてやるから、思うところがあるなら話したらどうだ？
I won't tell on you. If you only want a listener, I'm all ears. So if there's anything on your mind, why don't you talk with me?
思うところというか、陛下は博覧会をご自分の楽しみ以上の意味には捉えていないのではと感じているんです。
I wouldn't say it's on my mind. I merely have a feeling that the Queen only perceives the exhibition as entertainment and nothing
国
else.
内外にもたらす影響についてあまり熱心に考えておられない。
She doesn't
そう感じる
seem
のですが、アルさん
ardent.
はどう思いますか？
She doesn't seem ardent about contemplating its domestic and international influence, but what do you think, Al?
これはあくまで私個人の意見だと思ってくれ。
Consider this purely my private
おおむね
opinion.
賛成だ。もとより陛下の政治への無関心は昨日今日に始まったことではないだろう。
I concur mostly. That said, the Queen's indifferent about politics isn't new. Why concern yourself with it now?
私も今急にというわけではありません。ずっと考えていたんです。この国をもっと良くすることはできないかと。
Frankly, this isn't new for me either. I've thought long and hard whether there is any way to make this country a better place.
ここのところ特に、
Especially recently.
この博覧会はそのいい機会なのではと思えて仕方がないんですよ。
And I keep coming to the conclusion that this exhibition is a golden opportunity.
なるほど。お前らしい考え方だな。
I see, it's just like you to think that way.
と、ノックもなしにすみません。
Sorry for coming without
アル
knocking.
様はもう帰られたのかと思ってました。
I was under the impression you'd already gone, Lord Al.
いや、構わない。もう帰るところだ。エドワード、今の件だが、改めて時間を取って話さないか。
That's quite all right. I was just about to take my leave. Edward, can you schedule some time to discuss this another day?
私もいろいろと考えていることがある。お前の意見を聞かせてほしい。
I've also been thinking over various concerns. It'd be great to get your opinion.
え
Yes,
え、ぜひお願いします。
gladly.
日時は追って連絡する。
I shall contact you about the exact time later. Now, if you'll excuse me. Done,
それ
done.
で、フィルは頼んでいた資料を持ってきてくれたのか？
Well then, have you fetched the documents I asked for, Phil?
そうです。結構ありましたよ。前回の博覧会が終わった後に取りまとめたものと、ついでに開催前に作成された資料も持ってきました。
Yep, the whole bunch. I brought documents compiled after the previous exhibition ended, and while I was at it, I also got stuff written up just before the
片
event.
付ける時には手伝うんで、声かけてくださいね。
I'll put them away, so call when you're done.
助かるよ。ありがとう。
That's great help, thanks.
前回の問題点を参考に、今回の博覧会で起こりうる懸念点を洗い出してはみたが、
I've examined possible problems for our exhibition by referencing to the issue of the previous ones, but I may have missed something. This was written by Duke Randolph.
ランドルフ公爵が記したの。
I didn't expect any of these to be left.
書類一つとっても丁寧な仕事をしていたとわかる。あの事件が起きるまでは人格者で小煩悩な人だと言われていた。
Even from a single document, I can see he was meticulous. Until the incident, he was said to be a charismatic man and a doting parent.
俺の子供だったから記憶は定かではないけれど、小煩悩。そう。
I was young, so my memories are vague, but I agree, doting parent, right children. Suddenly, do you remember his children? I'm not that kind of girl.
まさかな。 いくらなんでも飛躍しすぎだ。
Ridiculous. Absurd leap of logic.
何が
What's so ridiculous?
フィル、
You're still here,
まだいた
Phil?
の？
いやーなんだか悩まれてるなと思ったんで
Well,
気になっちゃって。その書類変なことでも書いてありました？
you looked there was something on your minds. I got curious. Was there something weird written in those documents?
そういうわけじゃないよ。
Not exactly, no.
ただ、ランドルフ公爵が記したものが混じっていたから、少し驚いただけだ。
I was just a bit surprised because one was written by Duke Randolph.
ランドルフ。ああ、消えた公爵家ってやつですか。リリー様が話してました。
Randolph. Oh, the vanished ducal house, right? Lady Lily talked about it.
確か生き残りがいるって噂なんでしたっけ。ちなみに俺はもしいるならそれは子供なんじゃないかって思ったんですよね。
If I remember right, there was a rumor that there were survivors. If it's true, my bet is on one of the kids.
それはどうしてそう思うんだ？
Why is that?
この手のことがあった時に難を逃れるのは体の小さな子供って相場は決まってますから。
Usually it's the small children that manage to escape from disasters like that.
不謹慎ですかね。
Is that inconsiderate to say stuff like that?
そうだね。
Yeah.
失礼しました。じゃあ今度こそ俺は行くので調べ物が終わったら声かけてくださいね。
Sorry. Okay, I'm off for real this time, so please summon me once you've finished.
少し調べてみるか。
Maybe I'll try digging into it a little. Oh dear, her side. A few days passed after Edward disclosed his feelings. Even now, my night with Linus haunted me. I ended up making a series of mistakes.
最近心ここにあらずといった感じだな。廊下の掃除の前に窓ガラスを拭くようにと言いつけておいたはずだが。
You seem to have your head in the clouds. I distinctly remember instructing you to wipe the windows before cleaning the corridor. Curses, I messed up. If I don't have the behave like a flawless servant, my cover's at risk. Failing Nicholas's directions was beyond careless. My deepest apologies. I will see to it right away. To remedy my error, I heaved up a bucket I had left near my feet. Then, when cleaning the windows, better to do the outside first. As I began,
ニック、何があった？彼女を叱責
Nick,
して
did
いた
something
ような
happen?
声
I
が
heard
聞こえたけど。
reprimanding. Lord Edward, Edward appeared from around a corner looking concerned. I meant to tell him I was in the wrong, but I was cut short. Oh. Startled by Linus's unforetold appearance, my hand slipped and dropped the bucket. Damn it. Fortunately, it was empty, but I could feel Nicholas's dissatisfaction like electricity in the air.
ニック、もし彼女が怒られるようなことになっているのなら、それは私のせいなんだ。昨日も遅くまで仕事の手伝いを頼んでしまったから。
Nick, if she's done anything that requires scolding, that fault is mine. Yesterday, I asked her for help with my work late into the night.
そのような話は聞いていませんな。
I heard nothing about this.
彼女は自分からは言わないよ。そういう子だろ。というわけで、この責任は私が取ろう。少し
She
彼
wouldn't
女
bring
に
it
気
up
晴らしさせ
herself.
てくるよ。
That's the kind of woman she is, isn't she? I accept responsibility. I'll go help her unwind. Saying that, Edward approached me and took my hand firmly. There'd be no objections. Lord Edward,
おいで。庭に出て外の空気を吸おう。
come, let's enjoy some fresh garden air. Pulling me along by my hand, Edward marched past Linus without acknowledging his presence. Linus. My eyes never met Linus's either, and yet what I felt was more keenly wasn't Edward's warmth enveloping my hand, but Linus's heat when I passed him by. Thank you very much for covering for me. Please accept my apologies. As I came to a stop, I said that before anything else. Edward wouldn't let go of my hand and now studied my
ニ
face.
ックに目をつけられるなんて君らしくないね。その動揺が俺が気持ちを伝えたことに起因しているのなら嬉しいと思ってしまうけれど。
It's not like you to catch Nick's negative attention. If your fluster arose from my confession, I'd be delighted.
さっきの様子を見ている限り、そうではないね。君は、やはりライナが気になる。
Judging from what just happened, that doesn't seem to be the case. Does line weigh on your mind
そ
after
れと
all?
も、君がランドルフだから冷静ではいられないのかな。
Or do you struggle on maintaining your composure because you're a Randolph? What? Hearing that name, my shoulders jolted. I ripped my hand away without thinking. Should I run? No, I should use my face. I widened my eyes with shock, seeing that Edward hugged me loosely to soothe me.
落ち着いて。ここへ来たのは、 君とゆっくり話をするためだ。
Oh my god.
断罪するために連れてきたわけじゃないよ。
Don't be so anxious. I brought you out here because I want to talk things over with you at your own pace. At our own pace. It's not here. I'm not here to condemn you.
だから答えてほしい。君の名前はアプローズ・イー・ランドルフだね。
So please tell me. I want you to tell me this. Your name is Apros E. Randolph, isn't it? Yes, you are correct. He found out. He knew everything, but Edward said he still wanted to talk, and unable to lie to him, I replied
君
truthfully.
はきっと8年前のことで陛下を憎んでいるだろう。エルトビーク村の件は陛下の命だったと俺も聞いてい
You
る。
must resent the queen for what transpired 8 years ago. I heard that the tragedy of Eltbeek was caused by Her Majesty's
とい
order.
うことは陛下の中心であるライナとはどうしたって対立するはずだ。
Accordingly, it's inevitable that you stand opposed to Line and the queen royal subject.
それなのにライナに惹かれてしまったことに君は
Despite
苦
that,
しん
your
でいる。
heart was drawn to him and you
違うかな。
suffered because of it. Is that right? If only that was all. Linus and I first met each other just before the tragedy. That's why it feels like a more suffocating, but I didn't feel like confiding to that extent. I simply confirmed his theory. It is precisely as you say, Lord Edward. If you know that much, why aren't you restraining me right now?
俺はバーンスタイン家の次期当主だけれど父上現当主とは考えが違う。つまり君の敵にはならない。
I'm the next head of the House Bernstein, but I don't share the same beliefs as my father, and I am not and will never be your enemy. You're not going to turn me into the queen, I whispered. Edward tightened his arms around me before leaning to my ear and speaking in a hushed, secretive
そんな
voice.
ことはしない。なぜなら俺も君と君の一族ランドルフの汚名を注ぎたいと
How
考
long
えてい
has
る
that been your goal? I'll never do anything like that. After all, my wish is to clear your name, clear House Randolph's name. What do you mean? Don't tell me you have anti-royalist sentiments too. I'd raised my voice at his confession, so Edward tenderly pressed a finger to my lips, flashing me a small smile. He explained.
その響きは少し物騒だね。俺はただこの国の今のあり方を正したいんだ。
That wording makes me sound dangerous. All I want is to rectify the state of the nation.
弱いものを切って捨てまるで初めから存在しないもののように扱う。
The current Grand
Wow,
Albion
Grand
is a
Albion.
ruthless land. It
So
abandons the
Albion.
powerless and treats them as if they never existed from the beginning.
でもこの国に住むすべての人が身分にとらわれることなく平等に生きられれば
If all the
Not the
citizens of this
Queen
nation
of
cast status and birth behind them and upheld equality instead, the country would
そんな
flourish.
国にするために
Like,
陛下に
achieve
は
such a
穏便に
future.
玉座から退いてもらうことも必要ではないかと。
It may be necessary to
最近は
request that the queen steps down
そんな
from
風
her
に考
throne
え始めているん
peacefully.
だ。
I have adopted such thoughts lately. Peacefully means you aren't considering making attempts on the queen's life. Hearing me my muttering, Edward
そうだ
nodded.
ね。俺が今やっていることは君がしたいこととは
You're right,
全然
strictly
違うか
speaking.
もしれない。
My path may differ from the one you wish to take.
それでも君の望みに近いことにはなる。
But I imagine the ends are the same. So, Apros, would you
俺
like
の
to work
協力者
together?
にならないか。
You want to join forces? It was another unexpected proposal. Edward surprised me multiple times. Within minutes, I had trouble keeping up. He leaned down so our eyes would be level as he looked at me.
そう。
How does this? Where am I on this flow chart? 1, 2, 3. It keeps growing. Every time I get down one more, it grows another.
俺のやり方で陛下やこの国と戦うのならライナと戦う必要もなくなる。
If we rise up against the queen with my methods, you won't have to
ラ
fight
イナの
Line.
敵にはなりたくないんだろう。
You don't want to become his enemy, right? How wonderful it would be if that were possible. I have wondered, but once again, I agreed with what Edward pointed out. Selecting his words carefully, he kept
ライ
pressing.
ナは武力で歯向かう者には牙を向くけれど、ひそやかに根回しするような政治的な策略には 多分今の情勢では気づけない。
Lion is someone who bares his fangs at those who strike back with a sword, but in the current state of affairs, he probably wouldn't notice political tactics.
そして国のトップが変われば、その相手に忠誠を尽くしてくれるよ。
And if someone took over the throne, he'd be loyal to them. That's the nature of Q-Siths. If I work with Edward, would that mean that I can avoid a battle with Linus? It sounded more tempting to me than Edward's confession of love. There was a sweet, sweet poison, even though I knew logically that I shouldn't commit to this on a whim. My nascent hope drowned out my rationality. What can I do to help realize that goal? Understanding my indirect answer, Edward's eyes lit up with a brilliant light.
まずは、また一緒にエデンへ行こう。君にはこの国の底辺に追いやられた者たちと、貴族をつなぐ架け橋になってもらい
First,
たいんだ。
let's head together to Eden again. I would like you to be a bridge between those forced to the bottom of society and nobility. Understood, I do believe that is within my current capabilities. Recalling my time with Leonardo and Eden in general, I felt I could fulfill that promise. Then Edward's smile became conflicted.
俺の考えを受け入れてもらえて嬉しいよ。あと、君が好きだと言ったことは、一度忘れてもらって構わないから。
I'm happy that you agree with my proposal, that, and it's all right if you want to forget for the time being that I like you.
もちろん、俺の気持ちは変わらないけれど、今君の心に誰がいるかは分かっ
Of
ているつもりだ。
course, my feelings won't change, but I know that a certain someone has your heart.
すべてが落ち着いたら、もう一度俺の告白を受けてほしい。答えはその時まで待っているよ。
But after everything settles down, I would be grateful if you received my confession again. I'll wait for your answer until then. Thank you very much. I honestly felt relieved. For a split second, I saw Edward's expression cloud over, but he immediately cheered up as he spoke again.
これからは二人の時には、エドと呼んでくれ。改まった口調で話す必要もないよ。俺たちは協力者なんだから。
From now on, please call me Ed when we're alone. You don't have to be so formal. We're allies after all. Gazing at the hand he offered, I thought that before this moment I'd have refused him firmly as a servant, but as allies, it was a different story. Right, got it, Ed. As we shook hands, I tried to tell myself that this was the best outcome possible, yet there was a persistent thorn digging in my chest. I decided to ignore it, believing that I'd made the right choice. I began my journey down a new path. The exhibition was right around the corner. The final 5 houses conferences decided a ball would be held in the Bernstein estate. I spent a lot of my time helping out with Ed's work recently, but today I was busy as waitstaff. However, strange, I don't see Linus anywhere. I caught a glimpse of him attending the conference, even if he returned to his townhouse to change into formal attire. It was about time he would come back.
いや、なんだか落ち着かないみたいだけれど、気に
You
な
look
る
a
こと
bit
でもあった
restless. Is something bothering you? Under prying eyes, Edward spoke to me as my employer, like before. I have felt awkward for some reason hearing that tone again. To hide that feeling, I forced a spirited voice. It's nothing significant. I was only thinking of peeking into the kitchen to check if the food preparations are going smoothly. There seems to be more guests than expected.
あ、そうか。気を使わせてすまないね。ニックが仕切っているから間違いはないと思うけ
Oh,
れど。
that. Thanks for being so attentive. I do think there won't be any issues with Nick in
念の
charge.
ためだ。一度確認してもらってもいいかな。
But it's always better to be safe. Could you pop over and confirm that for me? Edward didn't doubt my excuse at all. Yes, well then, please excuse me. With his permission, I went into the corridor and arrived at the stairway to the basement, but I passed it by and headed outside. I didn't have a destination in mind. Absent-mindedly, I walked through the gaps between the trees and melting into the darkness. I had a premonition of sorts. Recognizing a shadowy silhouette motionless in the garden, I came to a
やあ
stop.
ローズ、君は給仕で忙しいと思ってたんだけど、こんなところで何をしてるの？
Hey there, Rose. I thought you'd be busy serving everyone. What brings you to a place like this? That should be my question, Lord Linus. Are you not going to participate in the
うん、
ball?
そうだね。俺はここでいいかな。
No, I'm not. I think I like it out here. Precisely in time for Linus's question, music performed by the band inside reached us. The ball had begun. Linus walked away from the tree he was leaning against and approached me.
なんだか俺はいつも同じようなことを君に聞いてるね。何してるのって、そればっかりだ。
You know, I feel like I'm always asking you the same question. What are you doing? It's practically a catchphrase by now. Perhaps yes. Thinking back on all of that happened between us, I nodded. Linus's eyes softened with
でも聞いて
nostalgia.
おきながら答えは想定してたよ。
Every time I've had a good guess about your answer before I asked.
例えばさ、給費員の前で会った時は、落日の渡りガラスの関係者と接触しに来たと思っていたし。
For example, when I met you at the almshouse, I figured you had gone to find an affiliate of the
エレ
Twilight
ンの会った
Ravens.
時も同じことを思ってたよ。そしてどちらも君は否定するだろうってところまで分かってた。
And it was the same when I saw you in Deedon. I even predicted that you would deny my accusation both times. Do you know the answer this time too?
そうだな。俺を探しに来た。だったら嬉しいかも。もし違ったとしても、そんな嘘をついてくれたらいいな。
Good question. I'd be happy if it was because you came to look for me. Even if I'm wrong, I'd be grateful if you could lie. Why are you saying that? I suddenly had the urge to see what expression Linus was making. I took a step forward. The moonlight was dim and unreliable, making it hard to discern his face.
ね
But
えローズ。俺に優しい嘘をくれる？
Rose, will you let me have that kind of lie? A kind lie. There was an earnesty in Linus's plea, and I keenly wanted to answer it. Spurred by the emotion, I voiced my truth. I was wondering where you were. I was only a coincidence that I came here, but maybe it wasn't merely coincidence. This was the place where I first met you, Lord Linus, so I had a hunch I could find you in it. Your belief that I came to find you isn't wrong. I'm not lying, you know.
そっか。嬉しいな。うん。本当に嬉しいよ。でも、
Oh no.
最初に会ったのは。
I see. I'm happy to hear that. Really happy, but this isn't really the first place we met. There was something meaningful about his last whisper. My heart skipped a beat. There wasn't any threat in his tone, so I couldn't work up any motivation to be on my guard.
ワルツが流れてる。庭にいてもよく聞こえるね。
They're performing a waltz. Even in the garden, I can hear it so clearly. Linus abruptly changed the topic. He didn't leave any room for me to
ここで
reply.
いいって言ったけど、せっかくだからダンスは踊っておこうかな。
I said that I like it here, but then this chance doesn't come every day. I'll dance.
だから、よかったら、
If it's alright
俺
with
の
you.
ダンスのパートナーになって
Will you
く
be
れ
my
ません？
dance partner? Oh, not really. I'm dressed in a maid uniform. My eyes widened. I heard a line like that before. At a time that now felt like another life. The moonlight shifted just enough to give Linus's Amber's eyes a sparkle, just like the last time he smiled at me. How long has it been since I saw his smile? He held out a hand to me, and as if I were entranced by a spell, I took it. Then he tugged me close.
踊ろう、ローズ。今この時だけは自由な気持ちで。ただのライナスとローズとして。
Let's dance, Rose. Let's dance as if our hearts are free during this one moment. Let's dance as the simple Linus and Rose. Yes, gladly. His smile was contagious. I replied joyfully, and we began dancing in the garden that we had all to ourselves. He doesn't change. He still dances as if he's flying. Matching Linus's light and springy steps, I'd have believed my wings were out if I were told so. Though that wasn't possible at all. Our dance brought back another faraway memory of when we ran around the forest playing tag. I really did feel like here we were free. I wanted to dance alone with him forever like this. Just as that fleeting wish skimmed my mind, Linus abruptly changed his step. At his unexpected movement, I stumbled and ended up crashing into his chest. Linus didn't push me away. He threw his arms around me and held me there tight. Lord Linus. His arms left me so little room that I couldn't breathe properly. Unable to raise my face, all I could do was listen to Linus's heartbeat. I can't breathe. Interrupting my tiny protest, Linus whispered,
俺の話を聞いて、アプローズ。
Listen to what I have to say, Apros. He called my real name. My heart nearly stopped. In contrast, Linus's heartbeat always beat away at a steady rhythm, not showing any regard for my shock. He went on with what he had to say.
君が誰なのか、もう分かってる。でも、君は返事をしちゃダメだ。
I figured out who you are,
俺
but you
の顔を
mustn't
見るのもダメ
respond.
だよ。
You mustn't look at my face. Why? Even though he just told me to not respond, I had to ask. To pacify me, Linus tenderly stroked my hair.
君が返事をしたら、俺 俺は君を捕まえなきゃいけなくなる。苦しいの。ライナス・ウォードとして。
If you admit it, I'll be forced to capture you because I'm Linus Ward of the CUSA.
でもそんなことはしたくないから。自分が誰なのかは。
But I don't want to do that, so please don't admit who you are. Then why can't I look at your face?
君は今、エドと行動を共にしているんだよね。よくエデンで一緒にいるところを見かけると噂になってる。
You're partnered with Ed, aren't you? There are rumors from people witnessing you two together in Eden. Linus avoids my
多分
question.
君は道を変えたんだろう。俺とぶつかる運命を拒否してエドのやり方を選んだ。
This is just my guess, but you changed your path, didn't you? You rejected the fate of clashing with me and chose Ed's method, no? As much as I wanted to deny it, Linus was correct about what I had done, but not why I'd done it. I ran away from a confrontation with Linus, and seeing my actions afterwards, I couldn't blame him for thinking I'd chosen Edward, but I made this choice because Linus, in the heat of the moment, I tried to confess my feelings. I tucked away in my heart, but Linus hugged me closer, cutting me short.
何も言わなくて。きっと君の幸せのためにはエドの手を取るのが正解なんだから。
It's okay. You don't have to say anything. I'm sure that taking Ed's hand is the right choice for your
結
happiness.
局俺たちは同じ道の上でも別の道の上でも敵対するしか
In
ない
the
もの
end,
同士
whether
だ。
our paths align or diverge, our only choice is to be enemies, forever apart like parallel lines. Their future was the best we could do. This future was the best we could do. How's the love triangle? What love triangle? Ugh. They're talking so much. I thought this was just a short sidestep. It's gone on for so long. Ed said that Linus wouldn't notice political tactics, but he's so perceptive Linus might actually know everything already. He realized it and is choosing to stay out of it because it's not his domain. Judging by his wording enemies, it sounds like Linus has picked up on Edward's plan, but Ed said that if the country's sovereign changes, Q-Sooth would swear their allegiance to the new ruler. Does that mean we would come out on the same side? I wasn't able to point that out
顔を見
after
ちゃダ
all.
メって言ったのはね。俺が君に
Ah,
キス
you
した
can't
から
look at my face because I'd have to kiss you if you did. Linus's enduring passion made my eyes grow hot with
俺はやっぱ
tears.
り君のことが好きなんだ。
Oh man.
8年前も今も
I love you, I really do, no matter how many times we find each other.
何度出会っても君を
I'll
好き
fall
に
in
なる。
love with you.
それでもこの思いが叶う日は永遠に来ないんだろうな。俺がウォードで君がランドルフである限り。
Damn, these, I don't know what they're called. Couplets. I can't think of the name of Juliet's last name. But the day my feelings bear fruit will probably never come for all eternity as long as I am a ward and you are Randolph. Linus, please let me see your face.
ダメだって言ってるのに。それとも俺にキスされたいの？
I just said you
でもそんなことをし
mustn't.
たらエドが怒るよ。
Or are you saying that you want me to kiss you? Ed would be mad. We're only allies. We aren't lovers. He won't get angry.
それでも怒る。君だってもうエドの気持ちには気づいてるんだろ？
You'd still be peeved. I'm sure you're aware of his feelings by now, aren't you? But I can't return his feelings because that is when I realized that my feelings had grown beyond the point of suppression, yet there was still something holding me back. Even if I confessed out, there's no future for us since we stand on opposite sides when it comes to the queen. I can't tell him yet. Linus, let me see your
で
face.
きないよ。
I can't. I instead entreated him, anguish cracking my voice, but Linus wouldn't loosen his arms. I'm begging you, I want to see your face. I repeated the same sentence like a stubborn child again. Linus stroked my hair fondly. Eventually, after repeating this a few times, he relinquished his hold on me, pushing me away. With his face still turned away, he left. Linus! My cry dissipated in the dark of night. The only thing that remained by my side was the distant melody of the band. And then I died. A few months after the ball, I was walking along the streets of Roanne alone. Today, I was headed to a certain place for Ed's errand. The exhibition was held without incident. However, the credit for it wasn't attributed to the queen. The message was clear, even from Delin, that watches Grand Albion like a hawk should have understood that the queen no longer rules this nation. The age where we live under the rule of a monarch is over. From here on out, everyone will go arm in arm to build our country. Due to the efforts of Ed and his allies, the queen was rapidly losing her authority. As for the queen, perhaps because she no longer had any interest in being center stage, or perhaps because of her deteriorating health, she hadn't shown up in public ever since. That reminds me, I haven't seen Obrion either. I touched the watch in my pocket, but as I expected, there was no disturbance that would signal him coming. Maybe he's mad. I'm taking forever to fulfill my end of the contract. I certainly hope he's only mad. What happened to the queen in the good ending? Dead. She died. Obrion came out of the pocket watch, said he was trying to take her back to Tulanug, and she refused to go, and that she was really excited because she could tell that I was the vessel. And so he and her started fighting because he pushed me, and she was mad because I'm her vessel. And so then I attacked the king, and then he vanished, and then Linus helped me kill the queen, and then we lived happily ever after. But murder. I did plan to pay the queen a visit with Ed. I prayed that if I took back his wing from her, then it would mean that I kept my word. That said, I still haven't figured out a way to snatch Orbrion's wing back, but I'm sure it'll work out before the time comes, right? Though I felt uneasy, I arrived at my destination. I pushed away my thoughts and pushed open the door in front of me.
時間通りだな。そっちは順調か？
You're right on time. Everything going well on your end? Yeah, thanks to Ed. We've gained yet another ally. His influence is spreading its roots in the palace too.
ならよかった。けど、エデンの荒っぽい連中を抑えるのは。
That's good to hear, but really it's a pain and a half, sure, to keep those rough Eden people in check. But that's your job, isn't it? Hang in there, John. John, the person I came to visit today, smiled while sighing exasperatedly, but now he was one of Ed's allies too. John worried about the interactions between me and Linus to begin with, so when I confided in him that Ed asked me to cooperate, he agreed despite some minor hesitation. John did get mad that I agreed without consulting anyone first, but that must be because he was worried about me.
ああ、お嬢。エドワードに伝えてほしいんだが、貴族の中で反発している奴らの対処について考えたんだ。
Alright, milady, I want you to pass this on to Edward. I was thinking about ways to deal with aristocracy that opposes us, and the role of a go-between for Eden and the nobility, which I originally shouldered, had transferred to John. He was more qualified. John's been getting along well with Ed too. I'm glad I made this choice. And I wished I believed this was for the best with my whole heart being, but I still felt a pang in my chest when I was forced to ignore. You're here. Good day, Gonriel, but I'm just about to head back. We finished our business, and I'm satisfied that I got to see John. I see. After I replied with a smile, I realized something wasn't right about Gonriel. Did something happen? Did the royalists make a new move? You could say that. In any case, I suppose it's a hard blow for the queen for sure. A hard blow? What happened? It agitated me how she dragged her feet. It wasn't like her. Eventually, Gonriel found her resolve to speak. Even if I zip my lip now, you'll learn the news somewhere eventually, so better it come from me. The hound is dead. Hound? Do you mean Ward? Huh? It was all too sudden. I couldn't process her statement. Even after John's explanation, I wasn't able to grasp it. I balked, motionless. My mind went completely blank. It was a tasteless joke, I thought, and somehow managed to find my voice dead. That's gotta be some kind of mistake, right? He's one of the strongest men I know. I'm aware, but it sounds like he's been recklessly working himself to the bone the past few months. I heard he's been running around haunting. Well, now he can. hunting anti-royalists nonstop. It's not clear whether overconfidence or fatigue brought him
一人
down.
でいるところを反女王派の中でも荒っぽい連中に囲まれてやられたらしいよ。
Apparently, a most violent lot surrounded him when he was alone and did away with him. That can't be, you're lying.
信じないならそれでも構わないけどね。バーンスタイン邸に戻れば嫌でも同じ話を聞くはずだよ。
It's no skin off my back if you don't believe me, but when you return to the Bernsteins, you'll hear the same, willing or
お
no.
嬢ちゃんは犬の旦那と因縁があるようだから先に伝えたけど、まあ気持ちの整理でもしながら屋敷へ戻ればいいさ。
There seemed to be something between you and that hound, so I thought I should let you know first. We'll use your walk back to the estate as a chance to collect your thoughts. Gonriel spoke out of concern for me, but barely any of it registered. In the corner of my vision, I saw John stand, maybe to come help me, but I didn't have the will to face him and staggered out of the shop. Like a drunken stupor. Ah, we're living our lives like that one movie or story. The Whiskey Lullaby. It's a song. It's not a music. It's a song. Whiskey Lullaby. Goneril said that Linus worked himself to the bone for months, the past few months. Maybe since our encounter that night at the ball, had Linus started running ragged then? While Ed and I had pushed forward the movement to overthrow the queen, had Linus fought all this time to protect her? An excruciatingly painful stab at the depths of my heart. I clutched at my chest, my face unable to mask my agony. I look awful. Their expression reflected in my display window was dark, hollow eyes stared back at me. I should have been honest back then. I should have said that I chose this path because I loved him. He said that he liked me, but I didn't say a thing. I should have told him. Would I have avoided this outcome if I had confessed back then? Questions without answers swirled in my mind as I trudged to the estate.
ローズ、今ウォード家の執事から連絡が来て。
Rose, we just received word from the butler of House Ward. It's... The moment I stepped into the entrance hall, Phil brushed over his face white as a sheet. Before he could force me to face the agonizing truth a second time, I spoke up first. If it's about Lord Linus, I heard about it in the city. You informed Lord Edward?
さっき伝えたところだよ。エド様は見たことがないほど取り乱されて、今は部屋で休まれてる。
I just did, yeah. Lord Ed lost his cool like I've never seen before, and he's resting in his room. Reporting that in a grief-stricken voice, Philip faltered a little before he continued.
リリー様もとても心配されていて、俺、エド様を慰められるのは君しかいないんじゃないかと。
Lady Lily is worried sick about him. I think you're the only one who can comfort
だ
him.
から様子を見てきてくれないかな。きっとエド様も君と話をしたいと思って。
Could you talk to him, please? And check up on him? I think Lord Ed will want to talk to you. Understood. I didn't know whether Ed truly wanted to talk to me, but I couldn't leave him alone like this. That was for sure. Like me, he hadn't seen Linus these past few months. Suddenly losing his childhood friend in this situation, even I couldn't fathom how traumatizing that would be. Pretty lame love triangle. Not even a love triangle. This is as much of a love triangle as Twilight was. Lord Edward, it's Rose. May I come in? I knocked on the door to Ed's rooms, but there was no response. However, I faintly sensed someone moving inside. I opened the door. Look at him in a normal t-shirt today. Ed was sitting on his bed, hanging his head. I made sure to make my presence known, but he didn't spare a glance at in my direction. Though I barged in, I wasn't sure what to say. We were tormented by the same grief. What could I say to him, of all people? Ed, if you want me to be here, I'll stay, but if you don't, I'll leave at once. What do you want me to do? I left the decision up to him. Ed looked up. Oh, he also got void in his eyes. At last, but his eyes were dark and murky. It wasn't the Ed I knew at all. After staring at me for a while with vacant eyes, he spoke up somberly.
君に謝らないといけない。それから、
I owe you an apology.
何々も
Line 2. An apology? What in the world are you saying? I'd expected him to just cry or grieve, so I couldn't immediately comprehend what he meant. Ed shook his head.
俺はね、君とライナがお互いに惹かれていることを知りながら、君たちを引き離したんだ。
The truth is, I knew that you and Line were drawn to each other, but I pulled you
君
apart.
の正体を知ったとき、いろいろと建前を並べたけれど、俺は結局、ただ君をそばに置きたかっただけだ。
When I learned about your identity, I voiced only valid justifications after another, but in the end, all I wanted was you by my
君
side.
のトップが変われば、ライナはその相手に忠誠を尽くすと言ったのも嘘だよ。
I said that if the sovereign of this country changed, so would
彼は陛
Lin's
下のために戦い
Line's
続けた。
allegiance. But that was a lie. That he never gave up fighting for the Queen's sake is the damning proof.
無茶な仕事を続けて、こんなことになった。だから、ライナが死んだのは、
He wound up like this
俺のせいだ。
because he worked so recklessly. It's my fault. Line is dead. Spending the last few months together, I thought that I learned who the true Ed was, an ordinary youth who loved his friends. But now I was faced with a hidden dark part of his nature. Everyone has a dark emotions in their heart. I shouldn't be surprised that Ed does too. It's the same for me after all. I recalled my face reflecting in the shop window I had seen and the unintense regret in it. The same emotion was in front of me now.
俺は自分の欲を優先した。そのせいで君たちがそばにいられたかもしれない未来を奪って。
Do you feel like this is a triangle when the guy that you didn't even say you liked a little bit is now standing in front of you crying like a baby? What a triangle. I prioritized my own desire and my greed snatched away the future where the two of you might have been together. You don't have to apologize, not to me at least. I was the one who chose to turn my back on Linus. Even without you, I'd have ran away. I was scared of facing him, but now I wish I could make a different choice. Angst, jealousy, this crying boy with pink eyes. As I shared my emotion, I approached Ed's side. He looked up at me like a child who had lost his way. Suddenly, a certain memory flashed through my mind. One on the night Linus had captured me. He kissed me repeatedly while asking me this. Sexual tension, do you feel it? I realized that Linus had worn a similar expression, the face of someone helpless, lost, and vulnerable. You gonna kiss him? You're gonna kiss a crying man? I thought that I was drowning in heartache at the time, but now I know my heart was aching with affection for him. I had wanted to comfort Linus back then. This same expression on Ed made me feel something similar, but was this an emotion I felt for Ed or someone else? Unable to come up with the answer, I reached out to embrace Ed and he welcomed me. Oh my. That doesn't look like your maid uniform. Or is it unbuttoning? This can't be an image from his. Drawn to each other, our bodies tangled as we toppled onto the bed. Apros, will you stay with me? I will. I'll be with you forever. Oh, girl, no. Ed's voice trembled. I replied with the words I wished I had said to Linus. Likewise, though, Ed seemed like he was looking at me. He was looking at someone else through me. He embraced me as if clinging to the only light in his darkness. His regret never faded. I'm sorry, Lion. I'm so sorry. Ed will probably remember Linus whenever he sees me. And whenever he remembers Linus, he'll apologize for his sins over and over. Even so, he'll likely won't push me away. The earnest and kind-hearted Edward Bernstein was going to keep his sin close so that he wouldn't ever forgive himself. I know that he will try to cherish me to make up for Linus, and I too will cherish Ed in the place of Linus. Why are her arms so long? You're right. There's been some very interesting body postures here, but you're right. Her arm should be way more pulled forward, or he needs to be way higher up. That is a long arm. I've noticed with the hands too, like the fingers are super long sometimes. I'm sorry, Apros. I'm still doing something heartless to you in line. I feel like I'm gonna be crushed by my grief, yet I still can't stop yearning for you. I can't believe myself. Ed, don't apologize. I persuaded him gently as I wound my arms around him, my mind. She was winding her arms around him. That's why it's so long. She's got like special arms. My mind wouldn't stop making the connection to that night. Oh, there we go. Look at that. When I hugged him like this, Linus's hair brushed against my cheek. Even the breath tickling my ear mimicked the memory. Linus's breath was hotter than this. If you say that you're doing something heartless, right now I'm doing something equally as heartless to you. I was relinquishing myself to Ed, but my mind and heart were filled with Linus. There was no chance for our hearts to truly belong to each other. Emotions for the dead were frozen in time, a fact I knew well, but to escape the torment of our anguish, we sought each other's heat, knowing that it was a fleeting consolation. Doing this wouldn't change the fact that our lost sun would never rise again. All I knew for certain was that together we'd forever wander in a maze sunlight would never grace. If you say so. But like,
エドの気持ちに気がついてたよ。
I saw Ed's
でも
feelings for
どう
you.
して俺がそん
How
な
could I
邪魔
ever
で
get
き
in
る
his way? I don't
俺
have the
にそん
right.
な資格はないんだ。
I lost it 8 years
それは
ago.
もう8年前に失って
Please
しま
don't
った
let me hold you back. All I will ever
だ
pray
から
for
どう
is your
か
happiness.
俺に縛られないで
Wow.
君の幸福をただ願うよ。
What a loser. Did I get it?
ミ
Did
ストニアの希望
I get all of
ザ・
this?
ロストディライト。せっかくだから
Oh, not flowchart. I didn't mean to go there. I've just been on flowchart so much that my brain goes flowchart.
大切なものなんだろう。
He's got such a good voice.
い
He's
いこ
got
とも
such a good voice. Lionos. 16 of 16. We did it. There was that one that we missed by accident. And this one, which is awful. Well, even his shirt changes ever so slightly. I mean, this was a pretty good ending. It's horrific, but it was pretty good. Black, yeah, we don't call it a love triangle. There was no triangling. I think we have to do either Alfred or Lucas next. I think that was the two options we had.
もう眺めるのはやめ。
I think.
帰ってきたんだ。
Which I'm not going to do tonight, but I think that was our next one. Because we had the... right here. We love Murderous Revenge. Honestly, yeah, I'm down. I'm down anytime. Alfred or Lucas. So I guess Alfred, because I want to save Luke. I wanted to save Lucas for last, but I can't. And I thought that was just how we got to Ed's route. And I was like, oh, thank goodness. I didn't want to play Ed's route. Oh, my goodness. The luck is me. That was like an hour, by the way. That deviated for a whole hour. I want to save the best for last, but the game doesn't want me to save it for last because it's being mean to me. But yes. Alright, so we did it. We finished all of Linus's story. We got all of his CGs. So starting... what next stream? Oh, Sunday. I'm going to have a stream on Sunday. I don't have a stream tomorrow, but I'll have one on Sunday. So we can start Alfred's story on Sunday. And then I have a stream Monday, and I think I have a stream on Tuesday. I'm going to be posting like a monthly schedule soon. I have to work on making the thing for it. But I have a stream Sunday. I know that for sure. I'm positive I have one on Monday too. I'm pretty sure it might be an afternoon stream, like 4 p.m., kind of later, because I think I picked up a shift in the morning. So I'll have an actual schedule posted soon. I was working on it today with my sister, because my sister and me are going to start playing Borderlands together Monday nights. And then maybe Tuesday nights. So we're going to be working on doing that together so we can play Borderlands, because I've been excited for the game and I got it when I went on sale for Black Friday, so it's time. But thank you Bass, and thank you, Blue, for being here. I hope you guys had fun, even though it was really confusing and I got lost and I had to cheat just like a little bit. Just a little bit, though. So I will see you guys soon. Thank you for watching this on YouTube. Remember, I stream about 3 times a week, and you can check me out on Twitch. We're currently playing Mistonia. We're going to be playing Illusions of Itahari next. And then we're going to slowly sneak in some Date Everythings. And Zelda again. I have that on my list of games I need to start playing again so I can try to finish it. I might have to play a little off stream just so I can remember the controls and not embarrass myself right away. But thank you guys for being here. I will see you guys soon. Bye!